thumbs away. And there we are. We're live now. So, good evening, everybody. Glad to be here on this Monday night. It's a cold Monday night here in Northeastern Ohio. And but that's okay because we're going to have some warm association with Geoff and Paul, who's joining me on the screen, as well as those of you in the chat. And remember, you too can join us on the screen. Monday night is our open mic night. So if you are, if you have your own device with a camera and a microphone, I'm going to send the link right now. It's also pinned to the top if you're watching on YouTube. But you can click that link and you can join us on screen. And it does not matter if you are a carnivore, ketovore, animal-based, or just standard American diet, and you got some questions about what we do here and why we eat this way. That's fine too. And we'll have a good time. This always is a good time. If you've got your own YouTube channel, you can also restream this over there. And if you're in the chat tonight and you've got a YouTube channel, please bring it up. What we always do to support our small and up-and-coming creators like myself is I'll paste the link because I'm the only one that can paste a clickable link in the chat, I believe. So we'll give you a shout out for sure. But in the meantime, I'm going to shout out Paul and Geoff. Last week we started with Paul, so this week we're going to start with Geoff. How are things down in Texas?
Well, they warmed back up, much to my pleasure. But yeah, it's things are going great. You know, getting a lot of work done. I was telling you earlier, you know, worked my butt off Saturday, cutting up a tree and loading it up and getting it out of here. But things are going great. Diet's going good. Health's going good. The only issue I got is I'm underweight right now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, not trying to brag or dig on everybody else that's struggling to lose, but yeah, a couple of weeks ago when I had a medical procedure, I must have caught either something in the procedure or something in the hospital got me sick, gave me something intestinal, and I couldn't eat for about 5 or 6 days, and I ended up losing 6 pounds, and I'm struggling to get those pounds back because I was already at my lowest weight I needed to be, which was 160, and so I lost 6 pounds, and I've gained 2 of them back. I'm working on it, but I'm still 4 pounds underweight right now.
And what's your method for working on it? Because we know what you could do that you don't, but you're not going to do.
Well, trust me, it popped into my mind. Why don't you go get a half gallon of ice cream and chunk it down? You know, but no, yeah. I thought about it, but no, I'm trying to eat more protein, and I'm not hitting the weights because I just don't have time for it. I've got too much work going on, but I'm doing a lot of heavy lifting around the place. Me and wife today was lifting and moving a bunch of railroad cross ties, situating them around our barn, and that's pretty good heavy lifting right there. So, and I'm feeling better. I feel like some of the muscles coming back. You know, I really put the lift on Saturday with that tree. I mean, we're talking, you know, trunk of a tree that, like I was telling you, a 20-inch bar on the chainsaw could only reach about halfway through this tree. So we'd have to saw on one side and saw on the other side, you know, and picking up those logs and haul them up to the trailer to haul them out. We worked our butts off. It was tough, but it was good for me. It was a good exercise for me.
So when you say you lost 6 pounds from not eating about 6 days or coming back from that procedure, do you think you lost muscle mass, or do you think you lost muscle mass?
No,
Okay.
I lost muscle mass. I'm sure.
All right. So yeah, so eating protein and working out, that I can see why that would be your approach. I was going to ask, you're one of those low or no dairy individuals usually, right?
Well, I was. Now, when I was actively getting healthy, actively losing weight, I noticed that I had to be careful about dairy. If I ate dairy, I would stall out, or gain weight. But once I hit my maintenance stage, once I hit 160 and I said, that's it, I'm not going any farther. When I hit 160, I started allowing dairy back in, and it maintains an even keel. Now, I don't eat a lot. I'll eat some cheese now and then. I'll find some good hard cheese that I like, and I'll eat some cheese. And I've usually got some blue cheese crumbles around. I like them in my eggs. But I will eat a little bit of yogurt every day, a couple of tablespoons of yogurt every day, because I want the gut biome. Mm-hmm. And so I do some dairy every day, but just a couple of tablespoons of yogurt.
Okay, yeah, very nice. And so your ideal weight is 160. And how tall are you? I know you're taller than me. You're 6 foot. Okay, yeah. So I'm 5'8", currently 175, and so that tells me that I can certainly set 160 as a goal. So
yeah, well, according to the charts, the numbers, if you can believe them, take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
160 is the lowest I should go for my size. Mm-hmm. And that's just what the charts show, and that's all I'm basing it on. I feel just fine being 154 to 156. I feel fine. Mm-hmm. I look okay, but I do believe I've lost muscle because of that sickness. So I would like to get it back up, in just muscle.
Yeah. I never felt very comfortable or that those charts were accurate. But then again, I was always such a big guy that to get down to the weights that they thought I should weigh always seemed like unrealistic. Now that I've been on the carnivore diet for 2.5 years and I've dropped a considerable amount of weight, now I can see where it could be a little more realistic. So
yeah, well, when I was young and I was in athletics, my high school weight was 175. Mm-hmm. I went in the Army, and in the Army, I went up to 183. And it was a different set of muscles that I grew in the Army, mostly in my legs and my back. And, I maintained 183 for a long time. Then it creeped up to 185. And after I was in a bad wreck that took 6 months for me to recover from, my weight started coming up because I couldn't be as active because I was crippled and I couldn't be as active. And so that and age combined, I ended up getting at my heaviest 236. And so when I was losing weight, even though I was in carnivore for healing, I was still thrilled about the weight loss. I can't lie about that. I was having a blast. And when I got to 175, I went, I'm happy. I'm at my high school weight. This is great. But then I kept losing. And I thought, 170, well, there's no way I can go lower than 170. This is great. This is lower than when I was in high school. And I'm a whole lot older. I'm not built like I was in high school. I don't have the muscle I had. And so I was okay with being 170. And then I just kept losing. And so that's when I started checking out the charts. What should I be at? And I decided to let my body, because I've heard this, and I don't remember who I heard it from early on in my research on carnivore. And I think it was Ken Berry, where he said, if you just eat what you're supposed to eat, your body will regulate itself. It will go where it wants to go. It will go where it needs to go, what's best for you. So I said, okay, let's do that. So I let it go. And it settled in at 160. And pretty much stayed there within 3 pounds on any given day. And so that's what I felt like. That's what my body wanted at this stage in my life. It wanted 160. And so that's in my mind, 160. So if I drop below that, I think, well, I might need to add some protein, hit the weights, whatever. Let's not let that get too low. I don't let 1 pound worry me. That could be or water fluctuation. But when I lost 6, and I could see it looked like I had lost muscle. And at my age with at my age, we have sarcopenia. That's something we got to really watch for. We got to pay attention to that. All old people need to watch that. We need to be hitting the weights. We need to be walking. We need to be working out.
So you were 160, down 6, back, put 2 back on. So you're probably 156 then. And then
that's what I was this morning.
And 236 was your high. So you're 80 pounds down.
Hard to believe.
80 pounds down. And I'm technically 57 pounds down currently as of today. So any of you who are hanging out in the chat who have used the carnivore diet to lose weight, go ahead and share how much weight you've lost on the carnivore diet. I'm just curious what we got among us this evening. So I know some of you individuals out there, the last time we asked that question, shared some amazing numbers. So, and then
when I hear the numbers of other people, I'm like, I just keep my mouth shut because my little piddly amount ain't nothing.
Yeah. All right. And so while you guys type those numbers out, let's go over to Paul. Paul, let's say hi to you. And how are you doing over in your neck of the woods?
I don't know. That's my issue. I think I was such a carboholic for so many years. My body just got used to walking around with a blood sugar of 300 all the time,
Mm-hmm.
And for whatever reason, Randall cycle, blessing from God, whatever, my eyes, my liver, my heart, my kidneys have no damage from diabetes. And I think it kind of makes my doctors a little upset sometimes. And so my body's used to having a high blood sugar. And which is not good. And so, I take a baseline long-acting insulin it doesn't really matter how much insulin you take. You take what you got to take to get your numbers where you got to get your numbers, really. But, and I'm very strict carnivore. I mean, I'm beef, butter, bacon, and eggs 95% of the time. A little chicken here and there. Mostly wings. And but then, I'll get into a cycle where, man, I got to cut back the insulin. I'm just too low, But then over 3, 4, 5, 6 days, it builds back up. So I had several days I was like at 55, 60, right? Nice low blood sugar. And low numbers like that don't affect me. I mean, I can give you my telephone number, social security number. I know how to get home. I'm fine. I can do math. But then, a couple days, 5, 6, 7 days later, and I'm not taking any short-acting insulin during all this, the blood sugar is back up to 155, 160. And I'm experiencing, I was kind of thinking it was the sensor, these new sensors Abbott put out. They're a little squirrely, but because I could just be sitting here and my blood sugar will be 130. 2 minutes later, I'm 155. My blood sugar, I didn't eat nothing. I'm just sitting here. I eat one meal a day. And so why did my blood sugar just take off? It's got to be the pancreas is making glucose and dumping it into the body. Because it's just got this memory of years and years and years of high carb living, high sugar living. And so what to do? And of course, the doctor says, well, you just keep injecting more insulin. Well, that's not the answer for me. And the other thing is, you want to gain weight? Go over to Walmart, get you some insulin. Start injecting some insulin into your body, you'll gain weight. Guaranteed. I've gained 25 pounds in the last 2-3 months.
Man.
And I bought a bathroom scale. I step on it every day and be as careful as I can. I do not go near cheese. I do not go near it. The only dairy I go near is butter and a little heavy cream once in a while, not often. And if I have heavy cream, it's 2 tablespoons a day. That's my max. Cheese, 1 ounce a day. That's max. And you take one of those little bars of cheese, you cut it in 8 pieces. It ain't much, And but I don't have cheese every day, and I don't have cream every day. So I guess my hormones that can tell the liver to make glucose are just screwed up. Sometimes they're getting a lot of signals, and sometimes they're not getting a lot of signals. I don't know.
So hormones are involved, and your liver's involved too. You mentioned your pancreas producing glucose earlier, and I think you misspoke, but you're right when you say your liver.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it's probably this balance between the fact that your pancreas doesn't work as it should, and then you have a liver that's doing its job properly. So your blood sugar gets to a point, and your liver produces more glucagon, more glucose, pushes it into your bloodstream, and it will do that even if you don't eat carbs. You can go days without eating, and your blood sugar can go up because the liver will compensate and produce the glucose that it needs. It can even do it from protein. That's why we call that gluconeogenesis. So it produces some glucose that you need, even though you haven't eaten any, puts that into your bloodstream, where then your pancreas would release insulin so that glucose could be ushered into the cells to be used for energy. But your pancreas doesn't produce enough because you're type 2 diabetic, right? Yeah. So
I have very low insulin production.
Very low insulin production. So the liver's doing its job, the pancreas isn't. And so unfortunately, what the doctor says is, well, it's not even unfortunate. What the doctor says is accurate, So if you lower your dose and then you see your blood sugars creeping up, then maybe you got to just boost your dose a little bit and see if you can't find that happy medium, of just the right dose to keep you running efficiently,
And I will find that happy medium, but it only lasts for 3-4 days. And then, it kind of goes to hell in a handbasket again. And I was just curious, and I did some Googling around, and for my body size, my body makes 8 grams. My liver can make 8 grams of glucose every hour.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 2 teaspoons of sugar. That's double the sugar in my blood. Okay.
That's double from what I hear we normally make. We normally do 4.
Well, that's how much is in your blood system.
Right.
Okay, you got like 5 liters of blood in your body.
Mm-hmm.
And a blood sugar of 85 would be about 1 teaspoon of sugar. Okay, about 4 grams of sugar.
Right.
It don't take much sugar in your body to function. It's very little.
That's just what we make on our own for our body's function. Right.
Well, your pancreas is the production of glucose from the liver is based on your body size. So you take your weight in kilograms.
Yeah.
I got a formula. I ran it, and most people somewhere between 7 and 9 grams of glucose per hour is what the liver can make. Okay, and what triggers it to make it is the pancreas produces that. Was it glucagon? That hormone. That tells the liver, hey, we're short on sugar. Make some, okay? And it goes to its stores of, I forget what it is. Okay, the last thing your liver does to make glucose is use protein. Okay, that's the last source of it goes to other things first. And that's according to Bart K. And I guess if anybody knows, he knows. And Bart's sick of me. He won't answer my questions anymore about this. He just ignores me, and that's fine. He jumped his consulting fee to $350 and an hour, and so I've been kind of taking a pause in my thinking, and I thought, well, what am I going to do? And so I'm going to remain zero carb, and I'm not going to restrict what I eat very much. If I feel hungry for another 4, 6, 8 ounces of ground beef, I'm going to have it. Or if I want, if I'm making eggs and I'm kind of hungry, I might make 5 or 6 instead of 4. And what I think I'm going to do, what I started doing today was, okay, could do more exercise. So as cold as it is, as windy as it is, as nasty as it is, I go out and walk for 30 to 40 minutes. And walking is something you can do every day.
Yep, and I think that'd be good. Brisket Boomers agrees. We have our comment up on the screen here to read. She says, it's the liver pumping out glucose, which is true. Stress causing a cortisol release could also be true. Blood sugar loves walking, which you just mentioned. I walk 10 miles a day and blood sugar loves it. I'm a type 1 diabetic, so that would be no insulin output. Hoping to heal. So very similar situation as yours. And yeah, the extra walking helps her with hers, and I'm sure it would with yours too. So yeah, exercise and I wouldn't add back any carbs. That's counterintuitive. Keep doing what you're doing diet wise. And yeah, if you're hungry, eat and don't worry about it. In your situation with such low insulin output, you're probably always going to have to depend on having insulin on hand, for the remainder of your years, honestly. So
yeah, it's they know how to fix the pancreas. Okay, I think it's just so damn expensive they don't want to do it.
Well,
they've done it in thousands
out there, so how would they do that?
Well, it has to do with stem cells, and it has to do. There's a drug. I can't recall I looked at this at one time. There's a drug out there. It's got a fairly long name to it. It starts with the letter T, and they, believe it or not, they also use the Ozempic, and they make up this solution of this drug and Ozempic and these stem cells. And so what this whole thing does is it stimulates the production of stem cells. And they stick this little tube between your kidney and your pancreas. They get right close to the pancreas. And they start flooding the solution in there. And they know that these islet cells are going to multiply at a certain rate. They know what their reproduction rate is. It's like every 17 hours, they divides and makes a new one. And they know they can calculate how many you need. So they know how long to keep you on this, okay? And they do that. And then they pull the tube out, they're done, and you're fixed. So they've used these lab mice, and they even use a special mouse for this. And they got a drug that they can inject into the mouse, automatically destroys their pancreas immediately. Within 24 hours, they're producing no insulin. They're diabetic mouse, type 1 diabetic mouse. And they, operate on the mouse, and they have figured out how to do this. And supposedly, I don't know whether to believe it or not, but according to the article I read, and it came from Mount Sinai Hospital, came from their literature, they did an illegal experiment. And they actually took a patient or somebody, I don't know how they did this, but they claim they cured a human being of type 1 diabetes.
Well, I'd
I
have
don't.
to read that because that's foreign to me. I've never heard of anybody curing. Well, I mean, with a carnivore diet, you cure type 2 diabetes, especially
Yeah.
if it's an early stage, um,
But-
or
And then
completely
there's that.
reversed or put into
Yeah.
remission or whatever you want to call it. But type 1 diabetic, I've never heard of that. I'd have to look that up. I
But supposedly all your
one thing
beta
that is
cells in
possible.
your body at the pancreas,
So when they burn
they
out, they burn out.
no, they don't burn out really.
No.
They're more or less they went to sleep. And she has shown that under a microscope, electron microscope, that there's a residual bit of insulin in each one of those cells. And she's been on a couple different influencers shows and stuff, interviewing and stuff. And I don't know. I'm not saying that that's here nor there, but I just think, I probably, I react like a type 1 diabetic. I am going to push. I don't think I have to push very hard. But next year, when I go back to the endocrinologist, I'm going to say, well, just do the test, I know it's expensive, whatever, but just either tell me I'm a LADA or not, and I probably am, I guess. And the other thing is, you look at the insulin has a profile. When you inject it, and when's it start acting on your blood sugar, and it peaks, and then it comes back down, and it tails off. Well, the Lantus insulin that I take is a baseline insulin. It's a long-acting insulin, and it's pretty much for most people, it's a true 24-hour insulin.
Yes.
So I split my dose 12 hours apart. So let's say it only works for 22 hours for me. That means I covered that 2 hours.
I do the same thing with like all my supplements. I take them both at breakfast and at dinner, but I divide them in half. So that way, if you take too many at once, then you might end up excreting a lot of it and not putting it to use. So the few supplements I do take, I'll split in between meals. Have you ever given any thought? Because the only thing that could actually completely restore insulin production right now that I'm aware of is a pancreas transplant. Have you ever thought about trying to put your name on a waiting list for another pancreas, or not interested in that?
And I have read about, there's a guy in, I think he calls his website, I know the number one's in it. He's very big into all kinds. He really keeps abreast with. He's from Sweden or someplace like that, and he's a little funky looking, but nice guy. And he does a lot of reviews on CGMs and everything else. But of all the weird thing, a unit of insulin is very tiny, tiny amount. It's not even barely a drop. It's like a micro drop. And he takes 1 unit of fast-acting insulin when he wakes up in the morning. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I was reading about what he does and stuff, and I'm like, okay. But I've read about type 1 diabetics that, they're taking less than 10 units of insulin all day long. Total up all their insulin, they're about less than 10 units a day.
Right.
And they're, and even some of the stuff I read on Richard Bernstein, I forget which way to pronounce that, before he passed away, that's what he was doing. He was down to like 7 units of insulin a day. And he was a full-time doctor. And he practiced.
I'm sure one's diet comes into play there. So
he was low carb, very low carb.
Yep.
One truly carnivore, but I buy his books on thrift books, and sometimes you get them for $5-6, and if I meet a type 1 diabetic, I give him a copy. And
okay.
So just keep eating, and I just need to increase my exercise, I hope. And
well, it certainly wouldn't hurt, and it would definitely benefit. I mean, we all could increase our exercise and benefit greatly, I'm sure. All right, it's 8:30. Let's go over and say hi to the individuals in the chat before we get much further behind. First in the door at 7:37 was In the Middle of a Forest. Welcome to our show tonight. Glad you could join us. We have Granny Boo 2 and a bunch of messages from me. We got Linda Flanagan and and we have Kitchen Witch saying hi to Jeff.
Howdy.
And let's see here. And hi to Bob and Paul too, she says. So Rick is listening in the shower and does regularly mention our channel over here because Rick is one of the good guys. And so, I'm sure everyone here probably knows Rick, but we're going to paste a link to Rick's channel. So charger. And if you're not familiar with Rick, he does this very similar thing on Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. And what's unique about his also is that if you're camera shy, and that's why you haven't joined me on this screen yet, like we ask you to, he has a phone in. So it's kind of like the old talk radio shows. And actually, I still have a local talk radio station that does that. You can actually phone in and talk over the phone, and you get to see a video of him in his studio talking to you. But of course, you're not on the screen there. So I'm going to paste his link into the chat. If you're not already subscribed to Rick, he's been carnivore for almost 45 years. I think it's around 43 years. You definitely want to go over and check out his channel. So thank you, Rick. Why don't you hop out of that shower and join us on screen? If you got your camera fixed and stuff. So, all right, Free Thinker 59. And how are you typing in the shower, Rick? We got Booby Goats. And let's see here. All right. A lot of small talk here. It's good to see everybody here. So Free Thinker says, Rick, welcome home. We missed you, but happy you had a great time meeting people. Yes, he was at so this last Saturday, he probably wasn't on the air because he was at the Hack Your Health convention. If you went to the Hack Your Health convention, tell me about it, because unfortunately I didn't have the privilege of going. I'm swamped with work here in my real life business, and I would have loved to gone, but it looks like I've seen some pictures and some videos, and it looks like everybody had a good time. And of course, you only share videos and pictures if you did have a good time. So, but if you went to this Hack Your Health convention, let us know in the comments, and share some of your highlights or something. I'd be glad to hear them. I'd really be glad to hear them if you hopped up on the screen and told us about them too. So we'll paste that link again here in a moment. Milton the cat fared well during his absence. So Sharon is in the house, and here's Jonathan. Good to see you, Jonathan. And and then we were talking about weight loss. Jeff was 80 pounds down. I'm 57 pounds down. Aaron, Booby Goats, is 72 pounds down thanks to the carnivore diet. Lambs is 45 pounds, but that was just a side effect. So I'm assuming you didn't go into it with a weight loss goal. Might have been for other reasons like health, and then weight loss was a side effect. So that's okay. Very nice. Sharon says 25 pounds at first with keto, followed by another 20 pounds with carnivore. All right. There we go. Let's see here. Stalled again for another year, but close to where I need to be, 5 to 10 pounds. So that's kind of where I am. I said I'm 175. If Jeff can be 160 and be 6 foot, I know I can be 160 and be 5'8". And but that's the same thing. And you know what? The last 10 pounds are usually the most stubborn for individuals. So we got to do like we were talking about earlier and kick up the exercise.
Or just go get an intestinal virus.
or pretend you have one. Fast for a week, And so I know I could take it off if I was into fasting. I'm just not into fasting. I do it once in a while. Kitchen Witch, 30 pounds and is healing beyond words. That's good.
Ain't it wonderful?
Yeah. Brisket, boomers. I've always been skinny, but on carnivore, I have to be careful not to lose too much. I'm 110 pounds at 5'7". All right. Yeah. So I'm 5'8", so close in size.
So something that it has never been said to me in my whole life. It got said to me 3 times in one day, about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I was called skinny. 3 times in one day by 3 different people. That's never happened before. I don't know how to handle it.
Yeah, I'm not called skinny by any metric that I count. I mean, no, my brother didn't see me for a long time. So the last he saw me, I was 232. We went hiking a trail together, and then he turned around, saw me at 175, and he said, "What's up, Skeletor?" But I'm not a Skeletor. So I still have my dad bod. And then my wife will call me skinny, but she's just being nice. So, but yeah, that would be weird if someone called me skinny or underweight. That would be bizarre. In the middle of a forest, says, she's at work, so she can't chat, but she did manage to type that she's 75 pounds down since carnivore.
Cool.
All right. So I think we can all agree that our stumbling across the carnivore diet and the knowledge that we've taken in, about nutrition and health, I think we can all agree that it's been a blessing, hasn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's see here. And let's skip through some small talk. Here we go. No Slow says, don't know exactly, but I believe it to be between 90 and 100 pounds of weight loss on carnivore in about 14 months. So yeah, excellent weight loss in excellent time too. I think right now you're tonight's champ so far in the comments at 100 pounds. Very good. Very nice. Lamb says not too shabby. Yeah, not too shabby at all. All right. Aaron's going to have a run with cutting out dairy. And does anybody else struggle with dairy? I still enjoy a lot of dairy. It doesn't bother me one bit. I can consume dairy with no repercussions. Let's see here. I expect to see a 2 for the first time on the scale tomorrow morning, for the first time in over 15 years. That'll be sweet. That'll be sweet. Let us know. We're going to celebrate with you. All right. And then Brian's in the house. Let's see here. I can feel myself putting on my winter weight. Must have a primitive metabolism. I used to do that too. I've been good about maintaining for the last 2 winters. So as I started this May of 23, lost my weight in 6 months. So November 23. And I've been weight stable since November 23 for 2 years now. And part of that was on purpose because of my triglyceride scare that you may have heard about. I made a video on it. And, but I used to yo-yo diet, like lose the weight, gain it back, lose the weight, gain it back. And gaining it back in the winter was usually key. But I've never been able to maintain weight. And now I've maintained weight for 2 years. So, I count that as a victory. That's the other thing that's weird is I'm so used to my weight loss being temporary. And then about 6 months later, I'm back up to where I was. But now I know. And now I know what to do. And now I know how to maintain the weight. And it is great. And then I look back at
come wintertime, my appetite increases.
In the winter?
Yeah. Even though my activity slows down, my appetite goes up. And it's It's a natural thing for your body wanting to store on, winter fat.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you think about it from a primitive standpoint, you look at it like the bears. What are they eating prior to going into hibernation? Tons of salmon, tons of berries. Storing as much carbohydrates as they can, building on as much fat. And we get that same thing happening to us where we want to store on fat to get us through the winter, even though today we've got modern, conveniences that keep us warm or keep us cool or whatever we need, but our primitive self still wants to do that.
I just saw a thing on one of the nature channels that showed the bears eating the salmon.
Yeah.
And they only eat the skin where the fat is.
Right.
So, and they leave the rest of the fish there. And the foxes come along and the birds come along and all eat the flesh. But they stripped the fatty skin off. That was amazing to watch this damn bear. He just going to town, big salmon after big salmon. Just he had a good technique. He could strip that thing off really quick.
Yeah, it's kind of cool to watch him. I've watched him in person. I've fished right along in the area with him. It's pretty cool to watch him do it. The salmon run is amazing to experience.
Yeah.
Noso says, I think greatly reducing caffeine is helping drop the weight through stalls. So, and now there's something that I want to do because I still am a caffeine drinker. So not a lot. So tea and diet sodas and I could probably cut those out when I want to give this another good push, another good run. Linda says she drank half a bottle of 7-Up today before she realized it wasn't no sugar. Yeah, that might be a hard one to tell if someone just gave it to you. Like, other sodas, like if you give me like a regular Coke instead of a Diet Coke or a regular Mountain Dew instead of a Diet Mountain Dew, I can taste it immediately. The sugar is so sweet. So
there's one way to avoid doing that.
Don't drink pop at all.
Bingo.
I know exactly where you're going.
All the human body needs.
Yeah, anytime I have something sweet,
most people can't tell the difference.
It lights me up.
Linda, don't get me wrong, darling. I'm not judging you. You drink whatever you want to drink. I drink nothing but water. I quit caffeine a year ago. I quit all sweeteners over 2 years ago. I don't do nothing anymore but water. But that's just me.
Whenever I have something sweet, it lights me up. I can not lights me up, like not like my attitude or energy or something, but I mean I can taste it. Like it tastes bad. Like it literally anything that's sugar tastes so sweet that I can tell that it's a drug, that it's an addictive drug when it touches my tongue. Whereas before, it just used to be what I liked and what I craved. But now I'm just like, terrible. So, all right. I'm going to paste the link in the chat. Remember, join us on screen and talk to us face to face. Tell us about your day. Tell us about your diet. We would love to have you on as a guest. This is an open mic night with room for 10 people. So we've got 7 empty seats here at the table. We'd love to have you on. Let's see here. It's easy to catch up on the comments here because a lot of it is some banter. All right. A lot of talking about coffee and caffeine. I quit coffee in 2019. And 2019, I quit because I found out that I had a hunch that it was triggering my ulcerative colitis, which I had fought for over a decade earlier. And when I quit coffee, I was able to get off my prescription medication. And then 2023, I found Carnivore, and that cleared up things bowel wise to the point where they were like mint. Okay. And then as of last year, I officially tested negative for ulcerative colitis. And I can trace it back to I was a pot a day drinker on top of whatever else I was eating that might have had those harmful plant chemicals in it. So if you're talking about quitting coffee, I think it's definitely worth it. I don't think that everybody has to. I think some people, they're modest about their drinking habits. They have a cup of coffee a day and that's it. Some other people can drink a lot of coffee and they don't have any adverse effects because, we're all different. But for me, it turned out that coffee was the root of a lot of my problems. And when I eliminated it from my diet, I healed and I feel 100% better, 110% better. Amy Brisket Boomer says, I'm on Carnivore. I'm 10 to 12 units. We're talking about insulin here, Paul. On Lion Diet, a little less, 8 to 10 units. I'm assuming that's per day. So it goes back to our conversation on insulin here. Let's see here. Yes, Rick was at Hack Your Health. If you were at Hack Your Health, let us know how it went. Tell me about it. Let's see here. On his channel, you call in with on his rotary phone. You can call on any phone of yours you want, but he's got he'll answer on a rotary phone that's connected to his audio system here. All right. And he enjoyed himself. And though Lewis says that he's going to be on to share in a little bit. All right. We look forward to that, Lewis, hearing about getting a firsthand report about Hack Your Health. I'm looking forward to that. All right. I saw Lewis there in pics. Yes, I saw him sharing some pics on another chat app that we're in together. So Target Prime Rib is in the house, and Ann Gables from Canada is here. Hello, Ann. Glad you could join us. And Tom's already bought tickets to go next year. Oh, wow. Is there an early bird discount? Probably.
So it's in Florida again?
Hack Your Health. Will it be in Florida again? Is it the same place every year?
Yes.
Or is it move around? Okay.
Same place from what I understand.
Okay. Yeah, well, we'll look at that up. Or if someone knows for sure, let us know in the comments. Target Prime Rib Thomas is at 5'9.5" and 252. All right.
Getting there.
Yeah. No, he's on his way down. So he's been doing really good.
Grandma Crochet, she broke the 300-pound barrier this last few weeks. She couldn't walk the end of her driveway and back. She's on about her 70th walk. She's walking about, 15 minutes a day. She couldn't make it down the end of her driveway and back.
Who was that again, Paul?
Grandma Crochet Corner.
Grandma Crochet Carnivore. Okay, yeah. All right.
Yeah, good. And you can see her, man. She's looking good. I mean, her face, you can see her face is getting thinner, and she's looking good.
Here's a link to Target Prime Rib's channel. He's a good guy. He's also carnivore diet, type 2 diabetic, trying to reverse his issues. And he documents his journey almost on a daily basis. So go check him out. And I just looked up and I realized that we've got let me mark this one here with a star. There it is. We have a super chat from Jonathan. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. He says there was a study that showed Eskimos on a high-fat diet metabolized more efficiently. Also, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is saying, eat more fat, calling out Big Pharma. Yeah, we talked about Kennedy a couple weeks ago. He's going to change the dietary guidelines. And yeah, he's whoever Kennedy's listening to is some of the same people I think we all are listening to.
Yeah,
because we're on, he's on a mostly carnivore diet plus some fermented vegetables, which kind of fits a lot of the diets that some of us are doing. And he's into the raw milk over pasteurized milk. He thinks that saturated fat has been unfairly demonized over the decades, and we agree with that too. So, everything that he's trying to make change wise as what's his position called, like Secretary of Health or something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know my politics very well, but I'm actually on board with it. Like, I think he's correct. He believes the same thing I believe when it comes to diet, food, health, nutrition, and to see him trying to publish that on such a large scale because of his position in the government is pretty interesting. And we'll see how far reaching of an effect he actually has, because of course there's the opposite side of the political spectrum, and then there's big food and big pharma who are pushing against them, and they're going to continue saying the same stuff that they've been saying since the 50s and maybe earlier. So how much of an impact will this have? I don't know, but it would be nice to get, I just think all the school lunch programs are usually based on government dietary guidelines, and the kids are drinking chocolate milk and eating Rice Krispie treats for lunch every day, and it'd be nice to see them getting something a little more healthy and in their diet. So we'll see.
I'm skeptical, but at the same time, I'm hopeful. I love what he's doing. I love what he's come out. Did you see that video back at the very beginning of the presidency this term, when he was on board Air Force One and they brought in McDonald's hamburgers and had everybody, eat with the president there, and you could see it was killing Kennedy. It was killing him. He did not want, he held that thing like he just, pulled it out of a cow pasture, he did not want to eat that thing, but he did it. It would have been great if he'd have just taken the meat off the bun and ate it, but
right. Yeah.
You didn't look on his face. It was priceless.
Yeah. He just needs to focus a little. I think he's got too broad of a shotgun. He's got 10 items he wants to hit, and I think 5 of them are really great. He needs to maybe just take his top 5 and push that, get those under his belt, and then go for more. I think maybe he's trying to take on too much with the shovel at one time. I don't know, but it's refreshing to see, at least some people are starting to think. I mean, I went to the endocrinologist. I probably told you guys, and one of the guys in the out office, he's type 1. He's a pre-diabetic, and here he is, an endocrinologist dealing in diabetes. Okay, and he's got it, and he went carnivore. He tried low carb. He got down to 20 carbs a day, and he went carnivore. And I kind of laughed because he got me started on low carb and carnivore.
Cool. Well, I've got a new doctor down here. I haven't gone to him yet. We just found one and made an appointment for myself for my annual wellness checkup and my wife's first Medicare visit. And I found a local DO rather than an MD. I want to see how he works, what he thinks about what I'm doing. Not that it's going to make any difference on what I do, but I'm looking forward to meeting with him and seeing how he approaches things.
They're usually a little more open-minded.
I told my wife I was going to, she says, you need to find a doctor. We need to get things going on this. And I said, yeah. And so I've been researching, looking at them. I can look at the profiles and everything. She said, well, found one you like? I said, well, I'll find a fat one that I like. I'm thinking I want a fat doctor, so when he sits there and tells me that I got high cholesterol and I need to lose weight, I can point fingers at him and laugh. But he yeah, that ain't the Christian thing to do. So I'll go a different route.
Tom says that, yeah, the Hack Your Health is in Tampa next year, same place. So yeah, everybody knew that.
What's the price on that? How much does that cost to go to that?
Oh, I think it depends. Let's look it up. So I know like the admission ticket I was looking at was like just a couple $100, but if you want the VIP, it's over $1,000, I think. Hack Your Health. VIP gets you in, secret rooms, front seats, things like that. So November 13 to 15 of 2026. If we do get your tickets, you know what? I could just share this screen here. Share screen. Yes, I know what I'm doing. Okay. All right. Yeah, so November 13 to 15 next year, Tampa, Florida. We go down to get your tickets. Oh, well. Clicking the button did nothing.
Well, there's another ticket button up there. Scroll up just a little bit.
Okay, here we go. All right. Oh, so this still says 2025, but it kind of gives you an idea. So I wouldn't even look at this 97 thing. It says the Expo Hall Pass is 197. The core 3-day pass was 597, and then the VIP experience is 1,200. So, yeah, I don't know. They must have just dropped that to 97 right at the end to try and sell some last minute tickets. So, and you can watch it online for 197. So I want to go in person. So yeah, that's what they go for. So looks like $200 gets you in the halls. And so you can basically, then you get to go to book signings, product samples, it's kind of probably like going to your home and garden show and only going around to all the merchants. And then the core 3-day pass, that's the one that says you get the complete Hack Your Health experience. So you get to sit at all the sessions and listen to all the talks. So I think that I'm imagining the hall only pass is where you can just mingle with the crowd and the merchants. If you actually want to listen to the discourses, you buy the 3-day pass. And then if you want to listen to the discourses and sit in the front row and get some VIP swag, then you pay the $1,200 one.
For $1,200, somebody's going to be feeding me, huh?
Oh, probably. Access to all breakout sessions, workshops, access to a VIP lounge with all-day refreshments.
No. I want a full-blown ribeye dinner.
Access to all VIP exclusive gatherings and special events announced closer to the show. Yeah, so it doesn't exactly say. I know when Carrie brought Healing Humanities meetup to Columbus, the VIP package included dinner. So, but I don't know what this is. Maybe this access to food. Maybe someone will tell us about it. Maybe were one of you a $1,200 attendee in the chat? How did they feed you? Let us know.
When I saw the picture of Rick on there, I was pretty sure he had a VIP pass hanging off of his neck. I was thinking, I might be wrong, but one of the people he was with had a VIP pass. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking it was him.
Erin says she did 90 days, no dairy. Didn't really help her lose any extra weight. Ding, ding, ding says insulin management is the key. And ding, ding, ding. You are correct. I like that. And that's that's absolutely true. That's even true if you don't have any of these, type 2 or type 1 diabetic issues. If you're struggling to lose weight, that's why we often suggest incorporating intermittent fasting. is because every time you eat a meal, every time you eat a snack, there's going to be an insulin response, and the insulin response is going to stall your weight loss. So if you can put more time in between meals, then you'll reduce that insulin response and you'll find yourself losing weight easier. So that's how I stopped losing weight, by the way, when I had the triglyceride scare. Was instead of eating 2 meals a day, I added back a third one. And now it's my habit. So if I want to start losing weight again, I got to remove a meal again. Sandy says her appetite increases during cooler weather. Carnivore Muscle, good to see you. How you doing? So I rebound and walk daily for 35 to 40 minutes. What else do you want? So, ding, ding, ding. All right. Let's see. More small talk here. I'm trying to quit drinking diet drinks. So, like, there's a part of me that wants to, and a part of me that doesn't care. Diet drinks don't seem to bother me at all. I lost my 60 pounds and still drank diet drinks, and it didn't affect me. But sometimes I think about, I would probably consume less liquid and less caffeine, which might in turn be better for my late stage kidney issue. That's why sometimes I think I might want to try and eliminate diet sodas. Texting from the restroom. Yep, Tanya, I can read your mind. Had to catch up on the chat. Boss is watching. Every November, I put on 10 pounds before the big fast. So she's at work right now. That's why this is entertaining. She snuck away to make a chat comment. Tom says, I'm now taking only 10 units of long-acting once a day now. And also says, thanks for the support. Yes, I pasted the link to his channel in the chat. Go check him out. Let's see here. Lambs, I don't think politicians will be able to change anything. It's the people that need to wake up.
Agreed.
Yep, I absolutely agree. So everyone is responsible and accountable for themselves. That's what it comes down to.
But you know, the sugars are so addicting. And then, you know, if all I had to do earlier in my life, if all I had to do was worry about what I ate, okay, I probably could have done it. But I had 3 kids to raise. I had a job to try to make an income. I had, you know, all the different life stresses, you know. I couldn't handle it all. And so it was what it was, you know. And every now and then I'll pause and my brain will go back and think, if I was 40 years old and I heard about this carnivore diet, would have I latched onto it? Would have I accepted it? Would have I tried it? I don't know.
Now, I've asked myself that question, and I don't believe I would have done it.
I don't think I would have either.
Because I didn't have the motivation to do it. You know, I came to this out of motivation to heal myself. You know, when I'm lying on a gurney with a team of doctors and nurses working on my chest, trying to get my heart back in rhythm, you know, for the 4th time in 4 years, you know, and there's tears streaming down my cheeks, you know, and I turned to my wife and I said, this is it. I'm done. I can't take this anymore, you know, and it's one of those things. I had the motivation to change because of it. I was tired of being sick. I was tired of having a heart condition. And I didn't know that this would fix my heart or change or turn my heart around, but it did. You know, it was worth the chance to do it. And then when I saw everything else that it fixed in my body and healed in my body, the Crohn's, the IBS, the dandruff, the arthritis, just, you know, thing after thing after thing, it just kept improving. And then the weight loss on top of that, it was like, yeah, I don't ever want to go back to what I was before. You know, and I've said it before, I was a 66-year-old man that
PT
felt
two
like he
times.
was 86, just waiting to die.
Yep.
You know, and now I'm a 69-year-old man who feels like he's 49 and has his whole life ahead of him. You know, it's totally reversed. And this is why, you know, I have a lot of people say, well, I can't do what you do. Well, because you haven't been where I've been. And that's the key thing. I'm where I'm at because of what I went through. That was my experience. That was my journey. And it was such a strong impression upon me that I can't bear the thought of drinking a soda water. I can't bear the thought of eating anything with sugar in it. I just can't go back to what I was before. You know, so that's my motivation. That's why I'm so strict. And I look at other people who, yeah, like Bob. Okay, they still drink diet sodas. That's fine. It doesn't hurt him. I see no use for it in my life. If all I need is water, then that's what I'm going to drink. If all I need is meat, that is what I'm going to eat. That's how I live my life now. It's a lifestyle for me. It's not a diet. So I had the motivation, and not everybody gets that same motivation. But those that do, they understand.
All right. Hey, Kelly, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. A little cooler today than the weekend here in Missouri. I guess we're about to have some cold coming in next week for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's that time of year.
We're back up in the 80s.
What channel are we promoting today? It's what you have, Broken Carnivore.
We can do the Carnivore or Show Me Homesteader.
Show Me Homesteader.
You get that fence line cleaned out yet?
I have just a little section left.
Well, I tell you what, I was thinking about you last weekend, I think it was. Weekend before last or week before last. So my wife goes out and she's picking up rocks. We're building an arena, you know, for riding in. And she was out picking up rocks. We've got it all tilled up and everything. And the goats were over by her. Our herd of goats was over by her about 30 yards away. And she happens to look up, and our north fence has been run through. Now, this is a 7-strand barbed wire fence. And there were 5 of the strands broken, and 2 of those broken strands were broken in 2 different places. And I remembered your video about splicing fence, which there ain't no kind of fence I ain't built. There ain't no kind of fence I ain't repaired. You know, I've been doing this all my life, you know, but I thought of you when I was out there running them splices on them fences, you know, restretching all the wire and everything. I just thought that was funny, repairing that fence.
Yeah,
What the hell went through it? A hog?
No, truck.
Oh,
I need to get CSI on the case. I found a piece of plastic chrome on the ground. They went off the road, and it's just a county road. It's not a big road, gravel road, you know, just barely enough for two vehicles to get by. But apparently they went off the road, and you can see some skid marks where they ran into one of the trees, and in so doing, they bent a T-post and busted up all that barbed wire. But, you know, this is where I'm not angry so much that somebody – well, I'm not angry at all. It's not an emotion. I don't have an emotion about it. I'm disappointed that whoever did it didn't come to my house, you know, and let me know that they'd ran into my fence. I don't care that they ran into my fence. Accidents happen. They could have been on their phone texting. They could have been drunk. They could have been avoiding a deer. I don't know. But I do wish that they would have come to the house and let me know about it so that I could get out there, you know, and put some panels up or something to keep my goats in. And I'm just thankful that we were so blessed that my wife was out there and saw it before the goats saw it. And if you know anything about goats, they're Houdinis. They can get through just about anything. So you have got to have an extremely good fence. You know, most people run 5 wires, on a fence around here. You know, goat people, if we're not running goat fence, we've got to run 7 strands of barbed wire or they'll get out. So, but anyways, I was just thankful that my wife found that hole and we was able to get that thing plugged up before the goats spotted it. But yeah, you were in my mind, Kelly. I was thinking of you.
Well, I have a second video. I did a part 2 on that fence and I got almost done. I have probably maybe 50 feet of that fence left. I had to cut it off early. It's like, it's time for me to eat. And my daughter had a play. So I'm like, well, this would be good. If I do another video, I'll finish it up. If not, I have something else to do. I finally have, after I finished brush hogging, I noticing that I had a tree that's been dead probably for a few years. The top has finally fell out and I'm like, great, now I can actually get this tree down safely, because I'm like, I'm not cutting this tree until that top falls.
Well, that would have made a good video though.
Well,
might have made a blooper reel.
I'm finishing that one. I'm gonna do a video. I'm gonna do a video on that because I'm gonna get that trunk down and then I'm gonna cut it up, get rid of it, and then there's some little cedars and some limbs some other trees that I want to cut up and where I can drive the tractor underneath without getting hit with limbs or trying to, take a chance of damaging the cab top on the tractor.
So I posted a video to your Show Me Homesteader site there. That's his second channel that he's launching. So go over there and give him some support if you could. All right. Well, before we get some news on the Hack Your Health thing, maybe we should discuss our topic. Because we're an hour and 15 minutes into this and we haven't discussed the topic yet. Either that or, you know what? I can change the thumbnail and we could just make the topic next. We could talk about this topic later. Yeah. So I wanted to talk about fiber, and there's really not a whole lot to say, not to this audience at least. But when we talk about fiber, there are usually 2 types. You've got what you call insoluble fiber and soluble fiber. So your insoluble fiber is usually what probably most of us think of. That's all the indigestible stuff that would add bulk to your stool and come out in a colostomy bag or come out in the stool kind of looking just the way that it went in. And then you've got your soluble fiber, and that is also not digestible. But with the soluble fiber, the difference is the bacteria in your gut can actually break down that soluble fiber and turn it into butyrate and short chain fatty acids that you in turn could use. So, and now modern medicine, of course, thinks that fiber is absolutely necessary. In fact, if you go to any search engine or any artificial intelligence and say, can a human survive without fiber? Guess what its response is going to be? They're going to say, nope, a human cannot survive without fiber. It is absolutely necessary. And then now that you can start toying with the artificial intelligence. So you could ask it, well, what if I haven't had fiber in and put in how long you've been on carnivore? So what if I haven't had fiber in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and you feel fine? Then the AI is like, well, yeah, sure. Okay. So it's not really required, but we still recommend that you get 35, 40 grams a day. But if you're doing well without fiber, then do what works for you. So it's kind of funny. You can even trip up the AI in that regard too. Most of us, I think, function fine without fiber. Those of us that are on a strict carnivore diet. And so I'm just curious, those who are in the chat, are you on a strict carnivore diet? Do you find that you needed to be more ketovore or animal based so you could get a little extra fiber to help you out? It will admittedly help some individuals out. Most people, though, it's not required, especially if they eat enough fat. And that's another reason why that's the case. People often say that the lack of fiber is going to result in constipation in turn strain and hemorrhoids and things like that. But what's the solution if you are a strict carnivore to not having constipation? Anybody want to take a stab at that?
Sure, because that's the thing I deal with. Now I was prior to carnivore. I've mentioned before I had IBS and Crohn's, and my gastroenterologist had me on a pretty much straight grain diet, so it was just nothing but fiber, and it was killing me. And when I told them that I cured it, they said, "So the diet worked?" I said, "No, your diet was killing me." I said, I went carnivore and I started eating nothing but a meat diet, and in 30 days it was cleared up. Of course they told me, "Well, I guess you don't need us anymore." I said, "No, I don't." So, I knocked the dust off my sandals as I left. Anyhow, but I did deal with constipation, and it wasn't that big a deal to me because in the beginning, it wasn't unlike what I went through with IBS. I would have diarrhea at times and I'd have constipation at times. It would just vary. And I never could find a common link between the two, what was causing one or what was causing the other. And then on top of that, I haven't had a gallbladder since 1997. I had to have one. I had mine taken out in emergency surgery. I was about to explode. And it was the size of a grapefruit packed full of stones, and a stone was blocking the bile duct. And back then, they just whooped that puppy out. And they had to take it out in pieces, too, because they couldn't get it out through the small incision. So I haven't had one since 1997. Well, so I've talked to other people who don't have gallbladders, and they're doing just fine on carnivore. But for me, there's something about my liver. Apparently, it just doesn't put out enough bile. And so artificially, I eat as much fat as I can. When I was drinking tea or bone broth, I would always add butter and MCT oil in it, trying to boost up. And sometimes it would help, but most times, doesn't matter how much fat I eat, I'm still going to have issues with constipation. Mild sometimes, severe other times. So for me, the thing that I do is I have to take magnesium citrate, and I have to be careful about how often I take it. And that's the only thing that I have found that works for me. For a while, I was doing a magnesium complex that had citrate in it. And it was doing okay, but it still wasn't doing as good as just straight citrate does for me. And so that's a supplement that I've just resigned myself to taking on a regular basis. I don't take the recommended dose. I take half of it. And that is what is working for me right now.
And, that's really interesting because I think most people without a gallbladder would usually have the opposite problem with consuming too much fat, and that they would have a loose stool.
Yeah.
And
I did in the beginning, like most people,
Yeah, because that's usually the rule of thumb is well, to back up first of all. So when you go on a carnivore diet, you're going to have less waste to excrete because you find yourself eating, well, one, meat is almost completely absorbed by the human body. And so there's very little waste to excrete for that reason. And then you might find yourself eating less because the meat and the fat is so satiating that you're not constantly having your hand in a bag of chips like you used to. So and you're not eating all that plant material, which is indigestible. So because it's indigestible, what does it do? It goes right through you. So there's definitely less weight to excrete. And then it is true that fat acts as a lubricant. And so if you're eating a high-fat carnivore diet, you're less likely to have an issue with constipation if you still have that low-fat, no-fat mentality that carries over from when especially if you grew up in the 80s, it carries over from, modern medical thinking, and you're trying to do a carnivore diet but eat lean, then yeah, you're probably going to have constipation because that's not going to work out for you. So a ketogenic diet or a carnivore diet, which is a subset of the ketogenic diet, needs to be high fat. Now, of course, for most of us here, and looking at the chat, everyone here is saying that they don't do fiber, they're carnivore, and they're doing just fine. And we even had someone say they lost part of their colon before introducing fiber. I should bring some of those comments up. We'll come back to that. Yeah, let's do that. Let me find this place.
Yeah,
I got two chat windows open. I got one over here from YouTube, and then I got one over here on StreamYard. Yeah.
Yeah, I've tried to follow everything that Dr. Chafee has said about this, and he's been very adamant about, if you got this, you do this. And I'm sorry, Dr. Chafee, I follow you and I think you're great, but you just can't make those blanket statements because we're all different. And I've done everything you have said to do and taken it to the extreme, and it still doesn't do anything for me. I've done everything but just, drink MCT oil, by the quart, or drink tallow by the quart. Nothing's worked for me. So I'm your odd duck. It ain't going to happen.
Rodney asks, is it true that a colostomy bag shows fiber from whatever, but hardly nothing when eating meat? Yes. And we've got the one example that you can go right now and look up on YouTube is Kent Carnivore. He had ulcerative colitis like I did, but he lost his colon before discovering the carnivore diet. And so he has a colostomy bag. And back when he was still eating plants, he could empty that bag and he could see plants in the bag. And then now that he's been eating a carnivore diet, all he does is see a little bit of bodily fluid, and that's about it, because the meat almost gets fully digested. So yeah, that is absolutely true. And for me, sometimes it's true even without a colostomy bag. There are certain products, certain plant products, particularly corn is the one that I notice the most. Corn for me looks like corn coming out just like it looks going in. So I never digest corn. And then there's a couple other ones too. So that's, Kent Carnivore is a living testimony to, your body doesn't digest plants. Rick says fiber is not a big part of my diet. Neither mine. I still eat plants here and there, very little from time to time. As
long as he doesn't eat the feathers, quack.
Fiber in those feathers, right? Yeah. And he's never been constipated. Okay. Let's see here.
Those feathers will really bind you up, man.
Yeah.
Dave had 12 inches of diverticulosis, was caused by 65 years of eating fiber. The surgeon wanted to cut it out. I said, nope, no fiber is the best fiber. And, I think I mentioned ulcerative colitis and its links to coffee, but I also was eating lots of spinach, lots of almonds, and there's lots of fiber too. So I was a very plant-based eater. So I think my ulcerative colitis was a compound issue. But when I cut out the coffee, which was a significant part of my diet, I noticed significant changes, and they were enough for me to be able to get off prescription medication. Free Thinker says carnivore here, no fiber. Bride's Biscuit says carnivore gut different than a standard American diet gut. Collagen ferments for different species of bacteria. No fiber, carnivore here. Persistalsis works fine. All right. I'm hearing someone make sipping noise. I think Lewis was sipping out of a cup. Sometimes I crunch on ice.
Sorry.
I wonder if you guys can hear me when I'm crunching on my ice cubes too, because then I realize my face is right up at the microphone. Bill, I've had constipation a few times, so bad that my body broke out in a sweat. Never happened before. I think my body temp rose and warmed my stool. Then my body got rid of it like it was an emergency.
I feel you. There's been a couple times I've almost passed out.
Yeah.
I remember my first year on keto, which I lost quite a bit of weight before I gained most of it or half of it back. But I remember getting ready for work and had to go to the bathroom, and I thought I was going to have to go to the ER. It was so bad. I was about to pass out. I was crying. Yep. It hurt so bad. And then finally it passed, and it was the largest turd that I ever seen. And it's like, is this what keto, this is what plants do? Wow.
There's let's see here. I've had that where the body seems to, if you can't excrete, the body seems to do something about it so that you can, for sure. So I've had that experience too. Rodney says, Geezy, my wife and multitudes of others rely on Smooth Move tea by traditional medicinals. She's more low carb than a carnivore.
I've got some and I've used it. But that's one I only use when I have to, because that stuff will it'll cleanse you.
Fiber, especially insoluble, messes with IBS, IBD, Crohn's, colitis, diverticulitis, etc. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Now, if you have any of those IBD or IBS issues, cut out the fiber, go carnivore, and you'll probably be a new man or a new woman within a short period of time, for sure.
Yep.
Linda's cooking a batch of sauerkraut. Is that for the fiber, or just because it's tasty? All right. Look up Dr. Paul Mason on fiber. He has some interesting talks about that. Meat liquefies, quickly digested. Yep. Yeah, Kent is where I first heard that. Yeah. So I've heard it before, but Kent is someone active in the community who's a living testimony that you can say that personally.
Is he from England?
Yeah,
he is. Yeah, he's in the UK.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I've seen him. Yeah.
Poop talk. Yep. One of these days I'm going to actually have a video completely centered around poop. You can't
have fiber as the topic and not talk about poop.
There you go.
Good to know that as a normal response was on carnivore when it happened. Fiber is an acronym for ferociously, intensely blocked up entry of rectum.
Yikes.
Good one.
Hi, Aaron. Good night. Glad you could join us. Thanks for hanging in there as long as you did. All right. Are you going to try the sauerkraut just to see if it hurts my stomach? It's supposed to be good bacteria in it. Yeah, fermented vegetables are most people find them agreeable, and it is supposed to be good for your stomach.
Well, that's what I did. That was week before last. I had sauerkraut, for the first time since, I don't know how long. First vegetable. It's the first vegetable that I've eaten since I became a carnivore, over 900 days ago. And it didn't hurt me a bit.
Yeah.
My stomach felt fine. I didn't get any inflammation. Nothing happened. It was just tasty. I enjoyed it. So I know it's not something I'll eat all the time, but I know that I can have some when I want some.
Target Prime Ribs comment gets a ba-dum.
Yeah.
And Papa Carnivore is in the house. All right. So that we're caught up on comments. Lewis, how you doing? And how was Hack Your Health? You said you were going to come in and share some details.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I could definitely answer some questions. First, I want to talk about the tickets for next year that you guys were talking about. If you bought a ticket for 2025, those people got an email. The tickets for them were $75 for next year.
Okay.
And then everyone else is $97, which I think is still a really amazing price to get in. And one thing I wanted to highlight for that $97 is you also get the recordings of all the sessions, which is typically not included in just a regular general admission ticket. And that's really important because one of the things that we noticed this year was that there's always a lot of stuff going on, and you ended up missing things that you might have wanted to go listen to, or even if you wanted to listen to it again, and maybe you missed something, when you were watching it live. I think that's a really good opportunity. So yeah, the price is really, really good right now, and I am wondering if it is because maybe attendance was not that great this year. So we will see. I don't know if you cut to some of the shots in that video of the crowds at like the talks. There's like the room is big and has lots of chairs, and it never was full. I don't know. Like, you see that? Yeah. So I've never really been to a convention like yeah. So I've never really been to a convention like this before. I don't know if anyone else has ever been to a health convention before. The only other convention I've ever been to was like New York Comic Con. And I don't know if you really can compare this to that. Comic Con's like crazy and crowded, and it's New York City, and it's just like you're basically shoulder to shoulder with people walking around. It's really tight. It really didn't feel that busy. And just the layout of the building, the auditorium and the breakout rooms were on the lower level, and then this area where all the vendors was on the second upper level. So you really needed to it wasn't like, so like when a presentation ended, the people had to travel a distance to get to the vendors. So I felt like because of that, there wasn't this flood of people coming in after the big, the headliners were presenting. Yeah, there was just some observations that I had, just about the event in general. Now, other than that, I had a great time. Did I learn anything new? Not really. It was just really great to be with each other.
Right. A social event.
Yeah. And like, when you went to the carnivore centric sessions, and they would like poll the room, like who's currently eating a carnivore diet. Everyone rose there. They already were carnivores, and the topic was not really anything that we don't know already. I feel like they were trying to target people that did not know about this way of eating, and that wasn't what was there. Even for like the Homestead for the Healing Humanity breakout session where they previewed parts of the documentary and they spoke about the documentary. Everyone in there, you would think they want to target people who don't know about the documentary yet, and to inspire people. And that's not who the audience was in the room. It was already people that already are drinking the Kool-Aid. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And again, we went because we wanted to support Kerry and Adam, and we wanted the room to be full and all that stuff. But that really was the entire space. So again, it was fun to hang out. I think the $97 is all you need to buy. You guys are talking about the food, right? The VIP gives you the lounge, all day refreshments. The only thing that we could eat from there, remember, this is not a carnivore event, right? So there's lots of carbs.
It used to be called Keto Con. Yeah.
Yeah. So the only thing that we can eat from that VIP lounge was hard-boiled eggs and bacon. And I didn't have VIP, but Alia did. So she would run down to the lounge. She would fill up coffee cups with bacon, and then she would come out and hand out bacon coffee cups to us, and we would have bacon. Let's go down this. What, Kelly?
For the price, $1,197.
Yeah. Well, let's go down the list. Let's go down the list. VIP fast check-in. I never saw a line at check-in, not even on the first day. It was not that long. You don't need that. Front row seating at all the keynote sessions. There was a roped off section for VIP people. Nobody was enforcing it, and me and Edmund, Carnivore's dude, we just sat in the front row every time. Not VIP. No one cared. No one cared. I can't say that's how it'll be like next year, but this year I'm telling you how it was. Access to all breakout sessions and workshops, we get that in ours as well. VIP lounge we talked about. I don't know of any VIP exclusive gatherings or special events that took place. I'm sure there were some, but I didn't. I guess if you don't know, you don't know. There was a VIP bag, and it was kind of like stuff from all the different vendors. So that I do know there was a carnivore bar in there. There was some other stuff in there in the bag. It was fine. You don't need that stuff. I did see people walking around with their Hack Your Health shirts they got in there. I see people with the water bottle. So, the parking is good. That's not bad. And the replays we get in the other one as well. So there's really nothing really going on. So yeah, I mean, $97. I think that's good.
Now that says 2025 exclusive attendee pricing, but you're saying, so I didn't attend in 2025, but you're saying
Right. So
I could get that anyway for 97.
Yeah, I didn't buy my ticket either. I got my ticket from Dr. Kiltz because I worked the booth.
Right.
But Eleni, who's in our coaching course, and some other people said that paid for their tickets. They said they got an email specifically saying not $75 because they had tickets. And then I went through this, and Thomas actually did it also. He already bought it. He got it for 97, and Thomas was not there this year. So I feel like this is just like a limited time thing for the end of the conference.
All right. So anybody can be an early bird, grab a $600 package for $97.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah. Good deal.
But other than that, it was just great to be with everyone. It's just cool to be like standing in the room, and all of a sudden Kelly Hogan comes walking down the street, and then there's Sean Baker turns the corner, and it was just cool. It was a lot of fun.
All right.
Yeah.
So Dave says that the email says it ends tonight.
Oh.
Oh, so if you want to grab that $97 ticket, you might want to go do it now. All right. Interesting.
Oh, Rick had the VIP experience.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go back.
He said, I'm right. Don't get it.
Let's see here. So Bride's Biscuit enjoys making her own sauerkraut. All right. Very good. And that ain't, I was gonna say, we'll get back to it in a minute. We'll talk about some foods that are proper human diet acceptable that might have some soluble fiber in it. They might be okay with it. I want to get back. I want to catch up on some of these though. He's attended Star Trek conventions. So
yep, I've never been to one of those. I would love to go to a Star Trek convention, but I've never been to one.
Been to Gen Con. I've been to religious conventions. Again, you learn nothing new, but you're really there for the socialization.
Yeah.
Yeah, I go to farm conventions.
Yeah, they probably should have condensed it down. I used to do a bridal show at expo centers.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't know what they expected. I do know that on the last afternoon, yesterday, the organizer, the person that organizes Hack Your Health, came out, and she basically said she moved it to Tampa because she's from the area. And yeah, she was talking about next year, and so I don't know. I mean, it just seemed like it was very light. Very, very light, the attendance.
Now, I wonder, because it used to be called KETO Con.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the first year it was called Hack Your Health, or was that last year it was called Hack Your Health?
I think last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if people realize it's the same thing. I just think, I don't know, like
I felt like maybe they thought keto was too focused.
Yeah.
They really stretched out.
They want to branch out. So they weren't just in the low carb sphere.
they had a vendor there that makes potato chips that are fried in beef tallow.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, you hear beef tallow, but it's a potato chip. There's nothing keto about that. Maybe it's keto if you have one
You're right.
chip,
One chip.
but that's nothing keto about that. There's
Right.
nothing keto about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe David, maybe you had to attend to get like they had to check you in. I don't know.
I got the email for $97, but didn't get the email for $75 for buying a ticket this year. I bought a ticket for this year, but I didn't attend.
And everyone was like Rick has said in other places, and everyone was very nice and approachable and to talk to. I met Dr. Berg. That was really cool. I had dinner with Dr. Boz.
Mm-hmm.
She sat at my table. It was like really cool. Yeah, I'm just meeting everyone. A lot of the people that I talked to online that I never met in person was fun.
Yeah, I always like meeting people in real life. I think it's cool. Target Prime Rim said I could bring a small cooler and just bring bacon. Do they allow you to bring your own food into the facility?
Yeah, the signs that say no food, no drink, but I rolled up with my Starbucks every morning, and it was fine.
Yeah,
a
sale ends tonight, so I got 2 hours and 20 minutes to decide if I want to go to Hack Your Health next year and get a
or buy spend $97 and maybe take a loss, or maybe you can sell it to someone.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Because if they're 600 next year, I can be like, hey man, I can hook you up for $97.
Yeah. $200. Yeah.
All right.
Dr. Berg. Gemma, you don't know who Dr. Berg is? He sells supplements. He's very tall.
He's a chiropractor.
Yep. And he's very, very tall.
Papa Carnivore is enjoying a New York strip. That's my favorite cut, by the way. Rick says he's drying his clothes so he can pop online. That'll be great. We look forward to seeing
nice.
It. Yeah.
Yeah, so, Rick has a really great experience to share about Hack Your Health because he doesn't travel a lot. So
I'm gonna go.
People may be broke.
Keto Palooza next year.
Where's that picture, Rick? Because I didn't take that picture with him and Dr. Berg.
You agree it's too focused? I don't know. I think KetoCon is a nice umbrella that covers everything on the proper human diet.
I think people hear keto.
When I hear keto, I still think carnivore.
Yeah. But I feel like the normal people hear keto and they're like, I'm not going to that.
Okay.
But if they hear Hack Your Health, and then there's weird vendors with stem cells and just
oh, okay,
like some woo-woo stuff. They had I don't know how many vendors were selling those vibrating platforms that you can stand on. What else was there? I don't know.
I agree with Rick. People are hurting financially. The economy sucks. That's interesting. From my perspective, I think the economy is doing pretty good. So the only thing I don't like is beef prices are up. Egg prices are way down, back to normal now, but beef prices are just a little bit higher than I would like.
I was surprised.
But business is booming for me. So.
Yeah. I was surprised picking up some chuck roast at Walmart for $13 to $14. Normally, it's almost $20.
Well, how much per pound was that?
I can't really remember. It usually it was. I can't really remember. I have to look at the package. But usually the last few times I saw at Walmart, it was almost $20 for a small 2-pound thing of chuck roast.
Is Dr. Berg taller than Rick?
I don't know, Rick. Is Dr. Berg let me see.
I'm caught in quandary when it comes to them beef prices because they're mighty good on my end.
We have a comment that you should look at, Bob. A few further, a little bit down.
Okay, I'm trying to catch up here. Let's see here.
How tall is Dr. Berg? Katzenberg's height is not publicly available. Really? He's tall.
Keto is very hard when lifting. I must add fruits and vegetables this winter to gain muscles. I will try 100% carnivore again this summer. That all comes down to adaptation. So, when you cut the carbs out, you will see a hit at the gym, and that could be 3 to 12 months before you're back at that again. And but it will come back. So, a lot of people say that. So, but as you become fat adapted, which can take a while. I mean, there's like you can preliminarily become fat adapted within a couple months, but to become fully fat adapted could take actually 1 to 2 years.
Yep.
So yeah, I get that. Well, I'm not anti fruit or vegetable. You can keep that up if you want, but if you want to try a pure carnivore, just realize that you will take a performance hit, but it will return.
And Dr. Sean Baker, he is very muscular, and he only eats
He's carnivore.
beef.
He's carnivore, and he's breaking world records.
Yeah, so definitely check out his channel, and I know he talks a lot about this topic, so might be helpful.
Yeah. I was the tallest person at Hack Your Health.
I don't know about that. It might have been. Might have been.
All right. Did I get the comment you were mentioning?
That was the one about the exercise, about the lifting.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought that was important to bring up.
Yeah.
That was
all
the
right.
one.
Very good. And so we're basically caught up there. So we'll go over and say hi to Thomas. How you doing, Thomas?
Hey, Thomas.
I'm good. If I was any better, I'd be illegal, just like Mitch always says. So
That's right.
So you got to attend this year's convention?
No.
Okay. You're set for next year.
But I heard so many great stories about it from Lewis and Rick and everybody. I was like, I gotta make sure I can go next year. So I just saw a $97 ticket, and I was like, what the hell?
Listen, I know you don't want to lose $97, but like, even if you just lose it, I
don't care about 97 is
nothing
compared to if I did everything else, then that would be a little disappointing. But but I have a whole year to save up and do what I need to do.
And Dr. Keltz has big plans for next year. He wants to get a bigger booth, and he wants to put a couch, and he wants to do carnivore interviews.
Oh wow!
Live, like with the camera set up and microphones, live at Hack Your Health, do interviews.
I could see him doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I should buy some extra tickets and then do a giveaway.
You could do that, yes.
Yeah,
you could in a few months too. It would be like really exciting.
Right. Yeah. Stockpile them, and then do that later on.
Yes, we're gonna call it Dr. Keltz's living room. That's right, Rick.
Yeah.
Or how about Dr. Kilt's lounge?
Yeah, the Kilt's lounge.
The Kilt's lounge. I like that even better.
And, we were selling Dr. Kilt's shirts. We were signing people up for the community. That was the biggest thing, was signing them up for the community. And selling, t-shirts, stuff like that. It's weird. Dr. Kiltz is not really selling anything. Like, one person actually came up to me and was like, what do you guys, like, what does Dr. Kiltz sell? Like, what are you selling? And I was like, she stumped me. I was like,
free health.
So Andrea came out, and he was like, oh, he's selling community. And I was like, okay, well, we'll go with that. That's a good one.
Yeah, she is a pretty good one.
We'll go with that, which is true. It's not wrong.
Yeah.
It's not true,
He
but
does
like, it's
have
true.
Supplements.
He does, yeah. And we were selling the organ blend and the beef liver supplements there. We actually sold out of those. And we were selling Kilt's cups, t-shirts, hats, stuff like that. So yeah, it was good. And his t-shirts are a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
All right. Excellent. So Thomas, what you been up to lately?
Not much. I don't know if you are aware, but I was away to my sister's house for like 10 days.
Yeah, I saw the video headlines.
I'm back home. My arms are actually fine. The dog never bit them off or anything like that. So
it's a good dog.
No, she was very good. She just missed her family and was very anxious.
Okay.
Which was fine, Just wish my sister kind of expected that, because she seemed to almost be like, I've never had dogs before. I don't know what it's like. It's like, what?
Yeah. Is she close, or did you have to travel for that?
Well, she lives in Point while I live in Walls, so it's about maybe 10 miles. So I wouldn't want to walk it, but I mean, it's not that far. It's like $40 for an Uber.
Mm-hmm.
So.
All right. Very nice.
Yeah.
Okay. And how's the weather down there in Florida?
Tampa was very nice. I've never been to Tampa before. And I think during the day it was like between 75 and 80. And then at night it cooled down and it went into like the 60s. It was very comfortable. It was very nice.
Very nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was in Clearwater last year, which is neighboring Tampa.
Not by a few stayed in Clearwater.
Yeah. And then I so we drove through Tampa or into Tampa a couple times. And then one of the YouTubers / bassist for a band that I listen to actually lives in Tampa.
Okay.
I did get to meet one time when he was up here in Cleveland. So yeah,
it
no,
was
that
nice.
area is really nice.
It's a really nice place, and a lot of traffic though.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of traffic in Tampa. Wasn't really expecting that.
All right, let's see here. If I buy tickets, then I got to figure out how to get there. And so I thought about it because I was thinking about the 3-day package, which at the time leading up to it was marked down to $297. And so I thought about dropping the $297, but then I was like, you know what? I'm going to have to get a plane ticket, a hotel, and probably a car rental, and all of this is going to add up. And then I'm just so busy over here because in my area the economy is booming that I just I can't do it. So, but next year if I plan ahead, and that's really what I got to do is I waited at the last minute to try and think about this, but if I plan ahead, I can definitely make it happen. So
yeah, my flight going there, I left on Thursday, the day before the first day, and it was pretty cheap from New York. It was probably, I don't know, like $119 to fly down, and then coming home, I did Sunday night, like right after I had to get back for work, and that was more money, so that was like $300.
All right. So I need to run to the restroom, so I'll be right back. In the meantime, I'm going to put up this so you guys can have the floor. And here's a question if you guys want to talk to Civisme Secret. It says, my keto diet consists of 70% eggs and 30% butter. Is that it?
Yeah,
I know 70 plus 30 is 100. That's it.
Yeah, I guess so.
So you're not a carnivore, you're an eggivore.
Yeah. Let's take it all on.
I'll be right back.
So in the chat, can you let us know if you eat any meat at all?
Or yeah.
Yeah,
I was wondering the same thing when I read it in the chats.
yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah, for something like that, we need to, as far as giving any kind of advice, we've got to have more information.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's all you're eating, then I would suggest you need to, yes, eggs are a complete nutrition, for the most part. I mean, they're a wonderful nutrition. And I've known people that have gone and eaten eggs for just months at a time and done just great on it. It's blood pressure.
It's a good food. Yeah,
it is. It's an excellent food.
It's almost like doing sardines.
But a lot of it's going to depend on what you're doing in your life too. Are you a gym rat? You hitting the gym hard? Are you sweating every day? Yeah, you might want to add something else in there.
Yeah. So
your ratio sounds pretty good. Fat to protein. And you've got fat in the egg.
And
so you're actually above the 70-30 mark with that, I believe. But yeah, if you could tell us some more about what you do.
So they put in the chat, yes, they eat some chicken only on the side as a snack.
Okay, so your chicken on the side as a snack. Well, okay, are we talking white meat? We talking skin on, skin off? We talking dark meat? See, there's a lot of nuance to this, when it comes to dissecting your diet and figuring out, what your needs are.
And I also want to know, is there a reason why you don't eat beef?
Right. Or why you only eat egg? Because even with
Eggs
the
and chicken
on the side, it's not really
a lot.
Kind of like sprinkling it on, basically. So,
Yeah.
Like, why are you only eating eggs and butter for the most part on your bigger part of it?
Yeah, lots of questions.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's an enigma and puzzle to solve.
And it'd be cool if you could just join us on screen and we could talk face to face.
Yeah,
Even
that would
better.
be cool too.
Of course, I think only Bob can let him on.
But that's fine. He'll be right back.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I was just making the joke, But
yeah, I
at least wait.
There's things I can do, but that ain't one of them.
Right.
Okay, so the person does not eat mammals for religious reasons.
Okay.
Okay. And they feel great on the egg diet, which is good.
Well, if you're feeling great, your lifting is going good, your exercise is good, I see no reason to change anything. So, yeah.
It's more curiosity than anything on my part. So,
if the fruit and vegetables are doing you just fine, one thing we don't do, while most of us are carnivores, we're generally carnivores within a spectrum. So one thing we don't do is we don't judge what other people eat. We will give advice from our perspective and our perspective only. I personally choose to be a pretty strict carnivore, but I don't tell other people they have to do it. It's what works for them. So, and yes, Lamb says eggs are a superfood. Absolutely. They're one of the best things you can eat. So yeah, fruits and vegetables are working for you. They work good for other people in the carnivore community, as long as they're working for you, do what you got to do. As far as the vegetables go, I would look at vegetables with lower oxalate counts,
right? Low carb,
lower starches. I would look that way. There's healthier and healthy less vegetables you can eat, and along with that, fruits. There are fruits that are better than others if you're gonna eat fruits. Personally, I would go with a lower glycemic index fruits, but whatever is working for you seems to be working just fine right now. So I really wouldn't sweat it too much as long as everything's going good for you.
Yes, Thomas. Bob, are you chatting from the bathroom?
I was.
I saw that pop up on Facebook, and I was like, "This guy is scrolling on the toilet." So, Bob, how was the fiber, Bob? How was the fiber?
Oh, okay. I didn't need any.
Good.
And I must have had plenty of fat.
Mazel tov.
All right. So let's see here. I only caught a little bit because I just remember Kurt used to he did 30 or 60 days where he was just eating like 18 eggs a day, and that was it.
Yeah.
And that's what came to my mind. So he has some chicken on the side as a snack,
and doesn't eat mammals for religious reasons.
Okay, yeah, and let's see here. I don't eat mammals for religious reasons. Okay, well, you don't have to eat mammals. There's plenty of, trout, salmon, turkey, chicken. And those are just the common ones here in the United States. I'm not sure where you're from, but there could be other forms of seafood and poultry. I just went to a seafood boil. Saturday night? Took my wife out. We went to A+ Crab here in Cuyahoga Falls or Akron, and had a seafood boil. And that I had lobster tail, shrimp, scallops, mussels. All that stuff is all carnivore. It's all good for you. And Very good. This winter, I added fruits and vegetables for muscle gains, and that's fine. We're not anti-plant on this channel. At least I'm not. It's my channel. I see nothing wrong with ketovore or animal-based. I still think those fall on the line of the proper human diet spectrum. I just believe that a proper human diet is carnivore-centric or meat-based. And then if you want to add any of these things that the earth provides, things that you could pluck off a vine or eat in its natural uncooked state and it doesn't make you sick, I think that's fair game, you know. And so yeah, fruits are okay. A lot of your vegetables are okay. That for me personally, that rules out refined sugar and all grains. And that also, for me, rules out most beans, because those things have to be cooked or else you get very sick. And so if you can't pluck it and eat it without getting sick, then I don't think it belongs in your body, cooked or not. So that's my personal food philosophy.
Yeah.
Yeah, eggs are indeed a superfood. So yeah, let's see here. Only entire fruits, never fruit juices. No starches nor sugar. So yeah, I would agree with that too. Yeah, when you turn it into fruit juice, you basically turn it into a Coca-Cola. You know, it's just concentrated sugar then. Starches, that's up to you. You know, if you're trying to be like, you're adding fruit, so I don't know how low carb you want to be. But earlier we were talking about fiber, and like the reason why fiber cannot be digested by a human is because we actually lack the enzymes required to break that down. But when it comes to a starch, we actually do produce the enzyme in our saliva and in our digestive tract to break down starches. So we are designed to handle starches, but we're not designed to handle fiber. Often they come together, though.
And of course, what does our body do with those starches?
Turns them into sugar.
Into sugar.
Yeah.
Cycles them into sugar.
Yeah. Let's see here. Oh, that's someone else's comments here. Here's his stats. I'd have to translate that with a online calculator. Sorry, this has been corrupted by the American system. All right, let me scroll back up here. What we got? I saw some other comments that were good too. All right, this must be related to our fiber topic, right?
Power of suggestion.
Power of suggestion, or is it because that's what I just did and came right back, right? So he also says you can find and maintain ketosis with fruit if you burn it off. So you can have some fruit on a low carb or keto diet, but it's got to be low carb or keto. So oftentimes you'll hear keto will say, it's half your plate's meat, half your plate is low carb veg with some occasional nuts and occasional berries, a few nuts or a few berries here and there, because the nuts and the berries will have some carbs in it. But with keto, that's why you want to keep that under 20 grams a day. However, the moment that you are digesting carbs, you are probably out of ketosis until those carbs are metabolized, and then you're back in ketosis. Same thing with drinking alcohol. You can drink alcohol on any of these diets, but until that alcohol is metabolized, you're not in ketosis anymore, because your body will preferentially first burn alcohol. It wants that out of the system first. Then it'll burn carbs. It wants that out of the system also, and then it'll burn fat. Mm-hmm. And so you could knock yourself out of ketosis by eating too much fruit, or fruit with too much sugar content in it. And which is not the end of the world, unless zero carb or low carb is your goal, then you want to try and keep that to a minimum. I developed an egg allergy over years of keto, mainly beef now. Oh, that's too bad. That's too bad. Sorry to hear that. Maybe not an allergy, but the smell makes me nauseous now out of the blue. Yeah, maybe just
We try to cook them differently too.
yeah, flavor fatigue, So I mean, if I eat the same thing every day, yeah, I'll get bored of it too. So I always try and switch things up. So like every morning it's alternate between sausage and bacon, and the eggs are over easy one day, scrambled the next day, and then used to make an omelet the next day, and then I rotate. Or some days I might not even have the egg, I'll just have the breakfast meat, And then same thing with dinner. Sometimes it's ground beef, sometimes it's a New York strip, sometimes it's seafood, like I mentioned earlier. Sometimes it is poultry or things mixed together. Sometimes I'll have a bowl where you've got the eggs, beef, bacon, and sausage all mixed together with some cheese on it, And I still use Power Bowl, yes, and I still use seasonings too. So I'll salt things, and I'll use a little bit of there's a blended seasoning I have that's primarily onion and garlic, So I'll put a little bit of that sometimes on my food, and I'll have taco night, and I'll use taco seasoning. There's a McCormick brand that comes in a jar, and you can use 3 tablespoons along with a little bit of water per pound of meat, and that's the cleanest one I've been able to find. It's not 100% clean. It's all spices, but your Taco Bell or your Ortega usually has a bunch of cornstarch in it. This one is very minimal on the carbohydrates. So I still do taco night. Sometimes I make it steak taco. Sometimes I make it chicken taco. So I always mix things up with a lot of variety.
My go-to seasoning or spices is I use that Dano's. It's fairly clean. I mean, it's not 100% clean. You don't know how clean, but it doesn't have any of the starches or additives like that into it. It's all seasoning or spices.
I'm gonna Google it so I can see it. Dano's seasoning. There's one I got at Sam's Club that said, "Oh, that might be all right." It's someone else's seasoning I got at Sam's Club. It was terrible. Mine, I think, is called. There's one called Badia seasoning, and then another one called the Sawzinator. Yeah, Badia complete seasoning, and the other one's called the Sawzinator, and they're both really good. Those are my favorite ones. Dave says I do mostly egg yolks. If I have whole eggs, I make sure the whites are fully cooked.
Right.
Yeah, me too. I don't like seeing
I can't
runny or jiggly whites.
Yeah, I can't stand raw the white part of the egg.
Well, and there's a theory out there about raw egg or raw egg whites. I don't remember what it is, but you're supposed to cook your whites thoroughly.
Yeah, I heard the same thing. So
I can't remember what it is though, and I'm sure David will pop in because I know he remembers.
Eggs are pretty complete, and with the shells, you get calcium too. That's actually true, and I've done this before, where you keep your shells, and then when you have them all done, you put them on a baking sheet, put them in the oven for 350, bake them for like half an hour or something. They all dry out, and then you can put them in a food processor or coffee grinder.
Yeah.
Turn it into a fine powder, and that's calcium, and then you can sprinkle that on your food. But you got to be able to grind it up really good, because if you don't, it could still be a little crunchy on the teeth.
Yeah, nothing wrong.
Yeah, see, that's a food phobia I have. One eggshell, my meal is done. Crunch, I'm over. It's not. My wife thinks it's silly, and she's right. It's silly, but it's my phobia.
I'll have a piece of shell end up in the bowl when I make my omelet, and I'll just leave it in there, cook the omelet, and eat it. So
yeah, I can't. Yeah, I'm done. My breakfast is over.
16 eggs a day. That's about what Kurt was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I eat beef, butter, bacon, eggs, some sardines. My fruits and vegetables are coffee and a little bit of MCT oil. All right. Let's see here. I've never had the Aldi Irish butter.
I've never been to an Aldi.
I have. I never had the butter.
I walked in one time just to see what it was like, and I had to put a quarter in the machine to get the cart, and I turned around and walked out, and they said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I don't carry any change."
Uh-huh.
You know, I said,
Yeah.
"Well, you can get change. I don't have any cash. Sorry, I've never been back."
Aldi's come a long way. Like 20 years ago, they were a lot of no-name brands. They were like a Save-A-Lot, really cheap. Quality was meh. But they've come around a lot lately, and you can get some good stuff at Aldi's now.
Didn't they
I
originate in
was
Austria or something like that?
What's that?
Didn't they originate in Austria or something like that? Like Austria, Germany?
yeah, they're from overseas, over in Europe. And I was gonna say, I was looking for a search for egg life wraps, Bob,
Yeah.
and they carry them at Aldi's now.
Oh, nice.
You see, because I was looking for something closer to me, for where I've moved, and the closest place is like 30 some odd miles away, and I was looking for someplace closer, and the store that carries it here in Texas is Brookshire's, but the closest one is up in Glen Rose, it's 30 some odd miles away from me. Well, it turns out when I did a search on egg life wraps, they said Aldi's over in Stephenville, which is only 20 miles away from me. They carry them. So I will be going to Aldi's here before too long.
Bride's Biscuit says, I eat mostly chicken, turkey, pork, eggs, and some ground beef, sardines, and salmon, and I healed 7 diseases on strict carnivore.
Excellent.
Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. And then Papa Carnivore says, I stopped counting about how many things I've cured or reversed on carnivore. It's over 30 things. Plus, I've lost 105 pounds. I think you might be the current leader tonight.
Yep.
We had someone say 100 earlier, but you're at 105. Went from size 44 to 34 pants. Awesome. And all that at 63. Very good. Aren't fibers feeding the intestinal microbiome? So, yes, the soluble fiber, not the insoluble fiber.
Mhm.
That's the difference. The insoluble fiber passes right through you, just adds bulk to your stool. It's absolutely useless. The insoluble fiber is fiber that, while we still are not designed to digest it, the bacteria in your stomach can break that down and produce short chain fatty acids, which you can then absorb. So, but that process also can produce a lot of gas. So if you ever eat, a high amount of soluble fiber, you will feel bloated and gassy afterwards, because that's the effect of the microbiome doing that. Now, the microbiome doesn't require fibers. So, because there's, again, some of us carnivores been doing it for 3, 5, 15, 20. And one of them says he's going to jump on screen here. 45 years ish, so it's absolutely not required for that gut microbiome. But yeah, that's it. The soluble part the bacteria will dissolve and metabolize the soluble fiber that you might consume, or at least some of it. If you overconsume it, a lot of it's going to pass right out too.
But once again, just because it does, doesn't mean it's necessary. You don't have to have fiber just for that gut bacteria, because we do just fine without it. We have a different gut bacteria that's all designed around protein and fats.
Right. Yeah, that's and that's that's why this became a topic tonight, is because if you do any preliminary research, light research, not in-depth research, but if you do light research, you're going to get back responses that say that fiber is absolutely essential. You need to get 35 to 40 grams a day minimum, and all this stuff. But it's not true. And even the artificial intelligences, because I tested it, they'll tell you, oh yeah, you got to absolutely have your fiber. But then you start pushing it with some facts, like, well, what about people that have gone without fiber for decades? Then it's like, oh well, yeah, well that can happen because fiber is not required, like fat protein is, and then they'll admit it. But the initial response is still like, yeah, so it's absolutely required, but it's absolutely not. Fiber will actually, it will bulk up your stool. It will, allow your body to not absorb certain things that you eat. So like you eat fiber, LDL goes down. You eat fiber, and other plants and their anti-nutrients, you might not absorb as much of the vitamin mineral content of the food. Like certain phytonutrients found in fibrous foods will inhibit the absorption of iron and zinc and things like that. So that can happen. Now, how bad will that impact the human body? A lot of people live all their lives eating a varied diet and they're just fine, but then, a lot of us, those quote unquote phytonutrients are also known as anti-nutrients, and they're also known as plant toxins. And so some of us react very badly to them. And we find that when we cut them out of our diet, we reverse disease. And that's actually probably the number one reason why a lot of us champion the carnivore diet. Yeah, we wanted to lose weight. That might have been our initial motivation. But then when we reversed diseases that we were told were irreversible and got off prescriptions that we were told we would have to take for the rest of our lives, well, that's an eye-opener. So, hey, Rick, how you doing?
Pretty good. I just had to do a dryer repair. The belt broke.
Did you get it fixed?
Yeah, I replaced the belt. I keep
right.
spare parts for all my appliances.
Okay, so this was a personal appliance, not a job, right?
Yeah, my personal one. I was drying my clothes, and then all of a sudden I go out there. I'm like, why are my clothes still wet? And the dryer's not running. Oh, the belt's broken. Nice.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, business before play. Glad you got that taken care of.
As always.
So how was your Hack Your Health experience? That's what we're eager to know about.
I know.
Well, I would say it was a very good experience. I had a few issues. I mean, the biggest issue was getting there. I got seasick on the bus and threw up. But other than that, it was okay. Russ got me the hotel room and the ticket for the event. Although I did have a roach buzzing around in the hotel room on Saturday night. Thing woke me up, and it reappeared in the morning when I opened the drawer. Other than that, it was okay. Oh, yeah, the drain got backed up in the tub. I was taking a shower in there, and the water started backing up. I had to take the drain apart and get a piece of cloth out of there. I don't know where that came from. But I got to meet a lot of people that I had seen online. I'd never had anybody say hi to me that knew me from YouTube before. So that happened from the moment I walked in. I got to meet some of the big time people like Dr. Baker and, you name anyone that was around me, they all wanted to take pictures. So they figured that I was some kind of big shot. Everybody, oh, can I take a picture? Oh, sure. Why not? It's not my fault if you break your camera, but it was interesting and got treated really well. Dr. Kiltz is very friendly and very accommodating.
That's
and
an understatement. Yeah.
and even Carrie was very friendly. He wanted to take a picture with me. Gave me a Healing Humanity shirt. Even invited me to his movie premiere or whatever, the review they were having in the breakout room, and mentioned me. He was just really nice. I got to talk with Adam Lacey also, who's a lot more intelligent than I realized. They're really dedicated to their movie project. And it's really, in my opinion, it's a good thing, because no matter who I met at Hack Your Health, whether it was carnivore or keto, a lot of people knew who I was, which really surprised me. And at the same time, everyone had such a good can-do attitude. I didn't meet a single person who was upset or critical of really anything, and no one was critical of me. And that was really a nice experience.
All right. Glad to hear it. I'm glad you had a good time and enjoyed hobnobbing with the fellow carnivores. So
That's right.
yeah.
How many people interviewed you, Rick?
I had
Like
about
2
5.
people?
I had
Oh,
5
5.
people. Yeah, two over there at Kilt's area, and then another
And the other-
3. Yeah, someone
And then a
even
couple of them you exchanged information. They're going to contact you, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was very surprised. And again, a lot of times I look at the person's name and I don't recognize the YouTube name because I may not have been able to communicate directly. You know, a lot of times it's just a chat. You'll chat with somebody, and I know them by their YouTube handle. I just ask, well, what's your YouTube name? You know, oh, so that's what you look like. And the amazing thing also is that everyone that I communicate regularly seem to look better in person than you do on the internet. And it was really that was really something. Even somebody famous like Kerry, he looked better in person than he does on the internet. And so did his wife Jen. Looked really good. They got a real nice. Everyone there has such a good. I don't know if you call it friendly, but it's sort of. They're happy. Everybody there is glad to be there. It's not like you took everybody and you put them in a room. It's like when we were in school, we had to sit in the classroom and we hated it. No, it was different. It wasn't like being put in church and having to fight falling asleep, that kind of thing. Everybody was enthusiastic.
All right. Awesome. All right. Well, glad to hear it. So that gives me more motivation to drop that $97 in the next hour and 40 minutes before the sale goes away.
I know we're gonna get off this call. We're gonna go buy it.
Too late.
Yeah.
Already did.
I know Thomas Ray did, right? Thomas Ray did.
I did while we were on the
FOMO.
There you go. Yeah, it was nice because we also had the get-togethers outside of the Hack Your Health conference, the Brazilian Steakhouse.
That's where things add up, like cost-wise. Like when we go to these dinners and. Like honestly, I only ate at the dinners the events that we had, and I fasted the rest of the time. You know, which wasn't that bad. It was pretty easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So Papa Carnivore. So I had this done last week. Let's see here.
You got the results?
I was gonna share the screen so I could show you. Here we go. Let me log in. So, because patient.
How big is your monitor? You're looking up.
It's a 32-inch monitor. It's just right. It's on a stand. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's right there.
Oh, okay.
So, and then that's my laptop.
Oh, got it.
I got my second screen.
That second screen. Got it. Yeah.
And,
very acrobatic.
Yeah.
All right. So, unfortunately, you lost the bet. So,
what were we betting?
That his statin C was 30.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So here I'm going to share the screen. Let's see here. And
Your doctor ordered these, or you did it yourself?
My doctor ordered these here. Okay. So when is your statin C test going to take place? So I did it last Friday, and I got the results on Sunday.
Oh, good.
I don't think I got my whole. Oh, I did. The renal panel finally came in. Okay. Oh wait, no, it didn't. So this is all liver stuff. Liver's fine. And then so here's my statin C with EGFR 21. Okay. So technically that's down from 24. I'm not too worried about it though, because this here is the 2.78, whatever that unit is, probably milligrams per deciliter.
Yeah, it says it right there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Milligrams per liter. Okay.
Liter, yeah.
So this can vary just a little bit, and it'll impact this calculation. I'll have to look at what the last one was. I think the last one was 2.5 something, and it was 24. So that can change normal. Now my vitamin D, I take 10,000 IUs a day. Like I said, I'm still here in the 50s. My magnesium's a little high, which is surprising. here's some good results. Here is my hemoglobin and hematocrit. I was anemic after the phenofibrate debacle. I was down here in the red, but these have rebounded back to normal. And the normal
when you were anemic, did you feel anything or not really?
I was just extremely cold all the time.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, they're they've been better. They've been a little bit better. I think the hemoglobin's been up around the mid 14s, but they're on their way in the right direction. And my PTH intact is how well my parathyroid is utilizing vitamin D, and it's kind of runs in conjunction with my vitamin D. So no, actually, the renal panel hasn't come back yet. There's still a renal panel with the creatinine and the phosphorus. And
right. Yeah.
That's not in yet. So my cystatin C went from a 24 to a 21.
And would you say that that's like within like margin of error, like lab, like almost like, would you say that's the same or no? A 24 to 20 to 21.
Let me just think about it. Let me go back.
You know what I'm asking?
Yeah, hold on here. So this is I think my last one was right here, and so look, so see, this is what I was saying. My last one was 2.52, and it gave me a 24. So we're talking 0.2,
right?
0.2
of a reading, yeah,
of a milligram changes the calculation by 3 percentage points on the EGFR.
Yeah,
I'm not willing to freak out over 0.2. I think I could go back in 3 months, and this would be back down to 2.52, and it would show me a 24 again. So that's what I'm not too worried about it. Now I meet with my kidney doctor on Friday coming up, and we'll talk about the results together. But I'm sure we're gonna be on the same page, because we always are. So, because he's a smart guy and so am I. Yeah. So I think, and from my personal interpretation of my blood work so far, and again, I haven't got the renal panel in. The only thing I'm curious about on the renal panel is my phosphorus level. My legs have started to itch a little bit again, but I've also been that if I start drinking dark colored sodas and go overboard on dairy, that increases the phosphorus count. So I probably need to back off of both of those, because did really well for a while, and I'm becoming having a little more dark colored sodas because it just happened to be where I'm at, and having more dairy, and now my calves are starting to itch a little bit again. So, but right now, my personal analysis of this is that I'm hanging in there and still showing minor improvements, because I'm not too worried about that 0.2 of a cystatin C change. And I'm very happy to see my hematocrit and hemoglobin go up, because that actually scared me when it was down real low in the red, saying that I was anemic. Because the reason for that is because my kidneys, which were really damaged by the phenofibrate, they produce erythropoietin, which is what stimulates the bone marrow to produce more red blood cells. So the fact that my hemoglobin hematocrit was low indicated that my kidneys were not producing enough erythropoietin, and in turn, my bone marrow was not producing enough red blood cells. So that's a little scary, because if I get into a life-threatening situation, or in a situation where I might need a transplant, that opens up the possibility of me needing a blood transfusion, which I would really, really not want. The other alternative to that would be, of course, I could take erythropoietin injections to stimulate the bone marrow to produce red blood cells, to bring that red blood cell count up. So, but to see the fact that now that I've been off phenofibrate and those numbers are improving and they're back in the normal range, even though in the lower end of the normal range, that actually makes me very happy. So I still see myself as kind of just keeping my kidney function stable not getting any worse, not getting any better. That's kind of what I see when I look at my results right now. So, and if I can do that for the rest of my life, I'm a happy man. If I can stay off the dialysis machine and stay off the transplant list, I'm fine, you know? So that's the news there. All right. Eggshell nearly ends breakfast for me, like biting into a piece of chalk. That's what Geoff was saying. 5 eggs and 5 bacon is a breakfast for Papa Carnivore. All right. And everybody's talking about this Aldi butter. I have to get down and get some. I made some butter bites again last week. Anybody else do that?
I hadn't made them in a while, but it's about time to make them again.
Yeah, I've never made them.
My Brookshire's or Sam's doesn't have egg life wraps. I was getting a Sam's for the last like 3 months, but this last time I went, they were gone. And I think Sam's, they cycle things in and out. I think they're out for now. So I'll have to go back to paying for them at Meijer, at the Meijer prices.
My closest Sam's is about 2 hours away.
My grandson was on Carnivore for 6 months, went from a 5X to a 2X. Awesome.
Wow.
That's great.
Awesome.
I know when young people do it, they respond really well.
Yeah, Tom, I went from 379 to 252, but I can't give Carnivore full credit for that. Why not?
Because
I wasn't on it for the whole full time. Yeah.
I think if I've lost anything on Carnivore, it's maybe 10 pounds.
Were you doing anything particular before?
Well, I was very active at work, basically. You know, like I did a lot of walking around. I wore a weight vest while I was walking around. I worked midnight shift, so I was able to do a few things I couldn't do normally. And so I just would walk around for like 6 hours and drive for 2 hours. So that helped, you know. And I went on a very low carb diet, you know.
So you were low carbing it and
exercising? I mean, compared to what I was doing before, I was low carbing it, you know.
Right.
But still, you know, it still didn't help protect my toes and stuff like that. It's still, you know, I still had the issues and stuff. But.
Right. Okay. Well, you are in the lead though at 127 pounds. So we're gonna let that count.
Okay.
All right. And your prize will be a discount, a $97 ticket to Hack Your Health next year. But you just got to act by midnight.
Yeah.
I like how you give me the prize I already did.
Congratulations. No, the prize is being allowed to purchase a ticket for $97. That's the prize.
Yeah, I'm allowed to go now.
Yeah.
We'll extend that to everybody watching.
Yes.
Broken Carnivore. When I started Carnivore, I was around 340. I'm down to around 270. 40 minus
that's around 70 pounds.
Okay, 70 pounds. Okay, all right.
Great.
Thomas is still in the He's got the Hack Your Health ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Bill Cook bought 2 tickets.
Oh, nice.
Hoping to go next year. So
I'd love to see Bill.
Yeah. How far do you got to travel, Bill? I forget.
I think he left. I saw he left the chat.
Oh, is he out?
House to the Hack Your Health.
All right. Let's see here. AI changes how essential fiber is by the second query. I ran the same experiment. Yeah, that's what I did. I was like, can a human survive without fiber? And it was like, no, not for very long, you know, and mentioned fiber deficiencies and everything. I'm like, and then I was like, well, what about me? I haven't had fiber in 3 years. Then it was like, oh, well, yeah, some people can go 10 to 15 years or more without fiber just fine because it's not actually required. It's like catching AI on a lie and watching it backpedal.
Yeah.
Keto Palooza, where's that located at?
I believe it's in Kentucky. Amy Davis, or Amy Duval, Keto Rockin' or Keto Coaching Amy.
Yeah.
She's the one that mentioned about
Amy
it.
Davis.
And I think Russ went there too. Russ Mitchell. I think it's
I'm
in
looking it up.
Louisville. It's like in
Yeah,
October.
Louisville, Kentucky.
And it is in October. Oh, it's about a year from now. About a little less than a year from now.
Yeah, about 11 months.
All right. Well, that's 2 back to back. I don't know if I want to do that. Anybody been to Keto-Palooza
No.
previously? Okay.
Yeah, this would be my first time.
Bill's going to bring his wife. You know, I brought this up to my wife. I was like, you know what? I was like, we could go to Florida and go to Hack Your Health. And she was like, well, you could attend that. I could just go down to Florida and sightsee while you're at the convention.
Yeah. So maybe my wife can hang out with your wife. That's why she didn't come. She was like, no, it's all right. She doesn't want to hear you people on YouTube, let alone in person.
My wife hears enough out of me. She doesn't need to hear it out of a bunch of other people.
100%. 100%.
Roasted roaches are crunchy and delicious. Now, I've seen them sold on the markets in some foreign countries.
Fine, you eat them.
And I've seen them eaten on shows like Survivor.
You can have mine. You can have my portion.
Here's a question from Jamette for Rick. That roach in your room freaked me out. Oh, Rick, that roach in your room freaked me out. Had nightmares. I did see the video of the roach.
You put that on YouTube? I was watching your videos, Rick. I didn't see that one.
Yeah, I didn't see it either.
You recorded the roach, right? Did you record the roach, Rick?
Oh, Rick can't hear.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we can't hear you, Rick. Rick is having he's falling apart over there.
I can see his frustration.
Okay.
I heard okay.
Oh,
you go.
good. It's
There you go.
working now. My
Yeah.
computer froze up. It was giving me a hard time. Yes, I did make a video of my little friend that appeared in the hotel room.
Yeah, I thought I saw the roach. Okay. Because I knew about the roach. The only way I'd know about it is if Rick posted about it.
Interesting.
There it is. The video is called A Familiar Sight.
In the middle of the night, something crawled on me, and then something
Stop
was buzzing.
it.
No, it did.
In
And
the
then it was
middle of the
flying around.
night.
I turned the light on. It was flying around the room. I tried to kill it. It got away. But when I woke up in the morning, I was getting ready to check out. I opened the drawer, and there it was.
Wow.
It was in the drawer.
Yeah, it went in the drawer, and then it climbed out and went back to the bed.
So you stayed at the Raid Hotel?
It was
Rick was in a really nice hotel.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know. I saw it. He had a really nice
Rick was in a nicer hotel than me.
the Hilton Embassy Suites. Looks good, but
Lewis was
fun.
far away.
right attached to the convention center.
Yeah, I know. I was far away.
Yeah, this was a very
Is it-
nice location. Very convenient.
Yeah, it was.
Russ always picks the best.
AZ or A to Z says keto for a few years, but have been interested in learning more about carnivore, liked and subscribed. Awesome. Thank you very much.
Oh, nice. Cool.
Yes.
Welcome.
Yeah. If you haven't liked this video yet, please take a moment. I always forget to ask. They always say
I
it's
do
so
it
important
too.
to ask your viewers to hit the like button, and I always forget that. So appreciate it very much. Yeah, we have a good community here. So half of us on the screen, maybe more than half of us on the screen, actually have our own channels you could go check out as well. And
And you can check us out online at carnivoretalk.com as well.
yep, Carnivore
Yeah.
Talk is
Great.
not just a YouTube channel. It's actually married to the website, carnivoretalk.com.
We can get
And
a little
then,
bit more in depth on the questions and answers over there.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got see here, Tom and Lewis. Have you completed your coaching course and got your certificates yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A while ago.
Awesome.
We were in the first group.
Yeah, I was in the first class, but I haven't completed mine yet. I just got too busy, so I have to come back and I have to make up for
It's
lost time.
not that bad. You can do it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
If I can do
confident
it. You
I
can do it, Bob. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got halfway through it, and then I just got busy at work, and just couldn't make the Wednesday. Couldn't make the classes live. I know I can go back and watch the recordings, take the quizzes, and things
You
like
don't
that.
even need to watch them.
Yeah.
And use AI.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't. It's kind of like Hack Your Health. I wasn't there. I did learn a few things, but I wasn't learning a whole ton of new things. There's a lot of things I already know,
Yeah.
just because I've been obsessed with this way of eating and this lifestyle now for 3
Correct.
years. Nothing is not a lot that's new under the sun for me, So, yeah, I started keto for a few months and then went carnivore. It was an easy transition, and I did the same way. I started off low carb, like with processed low carb, like with Atkins bars and low carb tortillas and low carb bread and all the lies and all the BS. And then I cleaned it up and got rid of the processed food, and I was just meat and veg. And when I broke my ankle, I decided to go full carnivore, and then I was strict carnivore for a year. And then now I'm 95 to 97% carnivore. I'm carnivore almost every day, almost every meal, minus a couple times a month. So
That's carnivore.
yeah.
That's not sugar coated. It's carnivore.
And I guarantee you nothing is sugar coated.
I'm sorry, like 97%. Yeah.
So
I'm
I'm just being honest. Like I still drink tea. I still use spices, I've talked about my food philosophy. If it's, you can pluck it, pick it. If it's natural and it's raw state and it's not going to make you sick, it's fair game. Humans have been eating berries as long as they've been eating meat, and as long as they've been breathing oxygen, drinking water. All that stuff's true. The couple things I've learned though, it's like, so my philosophy has also been, if someone invites me over and shows me hospitality, I'm not going to be rude and reject what they make.
Of course not.
And but now I'm questioning the wisdom of that, because if you were on the last week or the last 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks ago, someone invited me over on a Sunday afternoon after their congregation meeting. I didn't know anybody there. I went to visit my uncle, and they were invited, and so we were invited by extension. And the homeowner had made chili, and someone who had come also as a guest had made a chicken chili with white beans. And then, of course, someone made German chocolate cake and another cake, and I didn't touch any of that. But I was like, okay, I was invited here by people I don't know. I'm not going to be rude. So I had a small bowl of chili and a small bowl of white chili. So I was curious which one was going to be better. Oh my gosh. That night, let's just say the bacteria in my stomach had a field day with that soluble fiber.
Yeah, really.
I was so bloated. I was so gassy that I could levitate out of my chair. That's how much force I was.
You cook your breakfast with it.
I levitate out of my chair, hit my head on the ceiling. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yes.
It hurt so bad.
Strawberry poop gas.
It hurt. It hurt so bad. And so now I'm like, you know what? If I'm in this situation again, I'm just going to have to be like, I can't do being this man. I just can't do it. So, and then other day,
there's nothing rude about sticking to what's best for you.
Yeah. Well, I get it. What's so
rude about it?
Like I said, I'm, like if I'm going to cheat, I'm going to cheat with keto, or if I'm going to cheat, I don't mind, an apple or berries.
Cheat with steak.
Once in a blue moon. I don't mind it. Again, it fits in my food philosophy. Now, here's something that doesn't fit in my food philosophy. So last week, I had to blow the leaves. I got probably most leaves here in town than anybody. I got these big trees, and narrow yards, and I got an acre of land, and they get covered with the leaves. We got to blow them into huge piles, and we put them on a huge tarp, the largest tarp you can get, and take a dozen trips to the front, and try and get them up by the curb so the leaf truck can come suck them up. Well, we have a older lady that lives next door. She has no trees, but my leaves end up blowing into her yard about a quarter of the way. And so we were nice, went over there and blew our leaves out of her yard. Oh, and she just thought that was the sweetest thing. She's 78, 79 years old. So she comes out with a plate of pumpkin chocolate chip brownie looking things, which my wife is absolutely gonna love, you know. So she brings us out, and I'm kind of like, oh well, I'll take that inside. And she's like, oh no, they're warm now. And I'm like, okay. So I took a bite and then gave the rest to my wife, you know. It's because again,
Okay.
I didn't want to be, I was like, I didn't want to be rude. She's being nice, showing me hospitality. And that's
look
one of
at
the
all
reasons
that
why
duck
I said
food.
that I know that like sugar is definitely a drug, because oh my God, was that sweet. So I haven't had anything with refined sugar on it in over 2 years, you know.
Right.
One thing I do, I'll be like, oh, can I bring some home with me?
Mhm.
You know, like I don't want it now, and then
Yeah.
you forget to bring it home,
Mhm.
Or you
or
bring it
if you do
home
bring,
and you just
or if you do,
don't.
and you throw it out,
Give it
Yeah.
to the ducks.
Feed it to
or
the
you give it to the ducks. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So well, and like I said, that one bite, I'm at this.
No,
I'm
it's fine.
I'm
Yeah.
at a stage in my carnivore journey that one bite, and it was a small bite. That's harmless. I can.
Yeah, and if you feel
I'm not
okay,
gonna. I'm not gonna go on a bender now. Like now,
Right.
2 years ago, that one bite might have done me in. I totally could have relapsed, and
Of
it could have
course.
taken me
Right.
6 months to get back on track. You know, I would have gained my 50 pounds back, because that one bite would have been game over. But where I'm at now in life, I can pull
That's
that off
good.
and not be jonesing for carbs, you know, afterwards. So anyway, there's just some examples of why I say I'm 97% carnivore. I occasionally run into something like that. Where were we here? Oh, okay, that was the comment here. It's kind of like we all had the same issues that were fixed by carnivore: skin issues, high blood pressure, autoimmune, overweight, depressed. Yep. Let's see here. Can you imagine being in bed with the lights off and a big cockroach scurries over top of you? I mean,
Nope.
oh well.
It's
I'm
not
sure
the
Jen
first
likes to
time.
get that image in her head.
It's pretty typical.
Savisme Secret says, I heard that urinal ketosis test strips stop working over time. Any info about that? It's not that the strips stop working. It's that the detectable ketones in your urine the concentration of them will go down. And the reason for that is because you're actually, instead of excreting them, you're actually using them for fuel. So
Well, the test strips do expire.
Yeah, they deteriorate.
As soon as you break the seal of the canister, I think you have to use them in either 30 or 60 days. Probably 30 days.
Okay, so if that's what you meant, then yes.
Yeah.
I know some people say that like they feel like that they used to urinate on the test strip and get a real
A
dark
lot of
purple.
high, right. And
Right.
then,
Six
so I
months
think this,
later, they can
both
barely
is
get it
true.
to
Both
change
is
color.
true.
Yeah.
We see that a lot in the forums where somebody comes on and goes, well, I'm not in ketosis anymore. My test strips aren't showing. Well, no, you're still in ketosis if you're doing everything right. It's just that, like you said, Bob, you've now become fat adapted. Therefore, your body is burning fat for fuel rather than glucose. And so it's using it up. And because what you're expelling either through your urine or through your breath, which you expel ketones both ways, that is all excess. That's the stuff you weren't using. Now you're using it. So you have no more excess. So that's how it works out.
Mm-hmm. Because the B strips expire so fast. Oh, the duck cracklings. Yeah, did you try them yet? I haven't tried them yet.
I haven't tried them yet.
I mean, I didn't get them either, so I can't try them. But I did not try them. And there's the carnivore bar. Don't eat that, Rick.
I did.
It has 20. It has 24 carbs in it.
Huh. Well, I know who could eat. I'll give it to a friend of mine.
Oh, I've had
It
one
has
carnivore.
honey and apple. Yeah.
I've had one carnivore bar in my life, and it was flavored with a little honey, but it didn't have.
I'm gonna eat
carbs.
this.
No, the one with honey is 12 carbs for the bar.
Yeah.
Right.
And I tried a very small square of it. They had samples at their booth, and it did nothing. I mean, it wasn't a full bar; it was a very small piece. It did nothing to my blood sugar. And then I tried the other flavors that don't have any honey in them, and they were pretty good.
Yeah,
But I'm not that kind of person that that needs. If I would ever be in a situation where I would want I would need a carnivore bar, like for a meal,
Right.
I travel, I travel, I fast, and I'm home. I eat food.
Yeah.
So
well, it's a lot too. I don't think I know I was not able to do a whole bar when I had, but that was because it was unsalted. So I think salted might be different.
This little thing, it's an hors d'oeuvre.
Yeah, that's so. Jemit's asking about it. So
Very
carnivore bar makes it's basically like pemmican. It's pemmican. It's beef, dried beef, ground up, and then with tallow.
Right.
And they make a couple of flavors that are sweetened with honey. And then during the fall, they make an apple pie bar, which is sweetened with honey and has apples on it. So that's why it's called apple pie. But it's still mostly beef and fat. It just has more carbs, more sugar.
Still
too bad they just didn't leave it with beef.
You probably could have brought that to the table and asked to trade it.
Yeah, I'm sure you could have. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're very expensive.
I know.
Like $16 a bar.
Yeah,
iguanas a lot
Yeah,
cheaper.
and they're made probably 30 miles from me.
Yeah, you can go pick them up. The only reason why I would have bought them at Hack Your Health is because they were cheaper. You're not paying for the shipping, and there was a discount.
Well, I mean,
But I don't need it.
Like when I did my bars, it took me like about 5 days just to eat the one bar. Like I just eat little pieces at a time because I couldn't digest that much.
Really?
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So
I did buy the
considered it so expensive because they're like it's almost like having like 4 or 5 bars in one.
Yeah, I did. I did buy the pluck. Yeah, I would be able to eat it too. It was
maybe
good.
it was the taste because it was unsalted, so maybe it just made
Milton. Come here, Milton.
I did buy the pluck seasoning, the one that's the organ
Milton.
ground up organs with it's delicious. I put it on steak today. It tasted great. It tasted really good. It was the zesty garlic one, so it has garlic and onion and a few other things. Hello, Milton.
Hi,
You little menace. Look at that face. Oh,
Oh,
I just want to kiss that face. Ooh. He looks pissed though.
Yeah,
He looks
he's
evil.
like, what are we doing here?
Is he purring?
He doesn't really purr much, but he's all cuddly. Yes, he is. Oh, just look at that.
Oh, look at him rub his face on Rick. Look. You see that? You see him rubbing his face on Rick? Oh.
He's a good kitten.
Yes, Dr. Berg did use the erase board. And
Yeah.
the good thing about Dr. Berg, and I told him, when I spoke to him, I told him, like, when someone asked me like to send them one video on a topic or like on keto, I typically will send them a Dr. Berg video because he breaks it down pretty easily and it's not too much. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I didn't like his whiteboard videos. I think he's gotten away from that though.
He has, yeah.
Back in the day, it was like I can't watch this. So you're watching him scribble everywhere, and it's like, let's see here. All right, Bob, how was your birthday? Hope you had fun. Okay, so for one, I don't do anything special for it. And this was the most unspecial one so far because I turned 50. I don't know if that's something worth celebrating.
That's very special.
so no, I mean, like, you know,
You're a golden boy.
my entry into this world isn't something that needs to be commemorated. So, but no, yeah, I actually that would have been what, last Monday. Yeah, I went to work, got off work, made a thumbnail, and talked to you guys all night. That's what I did for mine. So, and yes, that's always fun. I always have fun hanging here on Monday nights with all of you.
Aw. Thank you.
They have to find a way to fix it. I'm watching from a hot tub in a hotel, sort of a mini
I
vacation.
know.
All right.
Fancy.
Sit down in turn on the water jets, turn the temperature up, pour yourself a glass of wine, and watch Carnivore Talk. Very
Nothing
nice.
better.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here.
Who's coming in?
Dave B. I clicked too soon on him, but there he is. Okay.
There he is.
Yeah. All right. How you doing, Dave? I think his connection's weak.
No, Dave, I heard you very low, though.
Oh, yeah. He's had audio problems in the past. Okay.
I think he has YouTube open. All right, guys, I'm gonna log out. I'm gonna get to bed.
All right. Thanks for joining
Dave,
us.
it's not you, it's me. Yeah, no problem, guys. Yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon. Rick, I'll talk to you later. Thomas.
All right.
Please. See you later.
Gizzy.
Milton. Good night, guys.
Sweetie.
Good night.
Night. Milton.
All right, let's try to say hi to David one more time. Can you hear us,
Milton
David?
writes. Milton.
I hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I heard that. Yes.
We heard you.
How you doing, Dave?
I'm doing good. This is a late day for me. I got up early this morning.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's going on 11. We'll probably retire here. 11 for me. We'll probably retire here shortly. So.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw it in there, but about the ketones. 2 months after being on carnivore, I was using strips the whole time. It didn't matter if it was brand new strips or old strips. I stopped dumping ketones and my strips didn't register anymore after 2 months.
Yeah. Okay.
Having trouble hearing me?
Oh, yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Okay. So he said his ketone strips wouldn't register anything either, even though he was in ketosis. He works on his audio issues. Here's a comment here from Savisme Secret. Sugar addiction is real. I can only stop the craving with entire fruits. So sugar addiction is real. And I think you're stopping the craving by
Feeding it.
by feeding it. Yeah. So I mean that makes sense. You know, my wife's A1C was getting up into pre-diabetic range, and our doctor said you got to stop eating the candy, and she's like, well, what do I do if I want something sweet? And he said, eat fruit, and which is true. That's a better. It's the lesser of two evils. It's better than the candy. Okay. Well, the problem is, as a sugar addict, my wife started eating tons of fruit, just like she used to eat tons of candy. And I said, you can't eat that much fruit. You can't eat that much fruit. And so 3 months later, we go back to the doctor and nothing's changed. And he's like, I told you to get off the sweets. And she's like, she has. And he looks at me and he's like, has she really? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, yes. But I was like, she's eating mountains of fruit every day, and he goes, no. He goes, I said, you can eat some fruit. He goes, eat this much fruit, not this much fruit. Like if you got the sweet tooth, have half an apple, just to kill the craving, don't have like an apple and a bushel of grapes and half a cantaloupe. And, because he goes, you can have too much. You can have too much of everything. So, which is, I mean, I don't agree with that per se, but in the context of that discussion, he was right. So yeah, but I mean, but I'd rather see you eat fruit than see you eat Snickers, candy, gobstoppers, and the like. So,
Well, I don't know if I heard this right or not, but I heard from somebody, I forget who it was, that fructose actually does not show up on your glucometer. There's something about it that the numbers are off by a lot.
yeah. So if you're consuming a lot of fruit, then yeah, you need to.
So you're still getting affected, but it just won't show. So then, you don't know how high your sugars actually are with that.
Could it be because fructose is metabolized so quickly in the liver?
Maybe
because it goes straight to the liver.
Right. Yeah, that's probably it then. But but if you're diabetic and you're eating fruit and you're thinking like, oh, the fruit's not doing anything to me. Well, it is. It's doing worse than you think. You're just not seeing it.
So you're correct that the fructose is not detectable on your A1C.
Right.
Because the A1C measures glycation, which is a result of glucose.
Yeah. I think I heard it from Mitch, actually, if I'm not mistaken, but I'm not 100% sure about that. So
right.
Don't if you're any rewards or anything.
So if you're concerned, especially and a diabetic would be concerned, if you're concerned about, if you eat a lot of fruit and you're concerned about the amount of sugar that fruit is dumping into your system, you're not going to see that on an A1C. Right. So what you need to get is a fructosamine test, and then that'll give you a better idea of where your blood sugars actually stand. So, yeah, so that's true. And then Bride's Biscuit says fruits trigger my carb addiction. I had to stop blackberries recently, and yeah, like I couldn't. I can't make fruit like a regular part of my daily diet, so once in a while, like the family buys blueberries and they're sitting in there for like 10 days and I don't want to see the money go to waste there. I don't want to see them go bad. I might help finish off the blueberries. Or if I go to a graduation party over summer and I haven't eaten that day and my options are cookies, cupcakes, pizza, or a fruit salad, I'll eat the fruit salad, if I'm that hungry, if I just have to eat something. So again, less bad, not completely benign, especially depends on how much you're eating. So
I ate some less bad fruits today.
Jalapenos?
Huh?
Jalapenos?
You bet.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I had me some jalapeno poppers for lunch.
Oh, that sounds good.
They were. They were. That's the only fruit I eat.
Yeah. I had pickles the other day, but that's about it.
Dave says, Keto Palooza was my first ever keto carnivore gathering. I'd been carnivore for 7 months before I met another carnivore in person at Keto Palooza. All right.
Hey,
well,
Bob,
I like about that.
I'm gonna call it a night here. Y'all have a good night.
All right. Good night,
sir.
I'll see you in about a week, Kelly.
Yeah, it is. A week freak from today.
Yep.
Okay. Have a good night, Kelly. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. Let's see here. I go through the chats here. It's amazing once you're fat adapted or at least removed from the standard American diet for an extended period. I had one slip up and I was knocked out for 2.5 days. Yeah, it depends on how many carbs you eat. Yeah. So because you'll metabolize those first before you get back into ketosis. So
and Dave, my ticket was 118 after all that too. So.
Jamet asks, Rick or Lewis, they're both gone. Was that what was that bar? Was it a beef bar? Rick, yours said apple pie. So yeah, it's a
It was
carnivore
beef
bar.
yeah.
Yeah.
Had
Okay.
apples
You
in it.
guys were already discussing this. I'm just catching up on the comments. You guys already brought it up. Yeah. So it's basically beef that's been dried, dehydrated, turned into a powder, mixed with tallow, poured in a mold, and it's also called pemmican. And then the carnivore bar might also add some other ingredients to give it some flavor, whether it's honey, berries, apple pie in this case.
I'm always teasing Todd Bachnes because he one time said that he makes pelican. So I'll like tease him and like put like in the Zoom calls I'll put like pictures of pelicans like please don't eat me. Yeah.
Made pelican. That's funny.
Yeah.
So we stopped dumping them after a while. I stopped dumping ketones after 2 months on carnivore. Brand new strips, no reading. Okay, so yeah, that's what he was trying to say in the microphone there, and that goes back with what I was saying is like, you know, after a while you're actually metabolizing those ketones for energy instead of excreting them in your urine once you become fat adapted. So yeah, the strips don't work. You can buy a ketone meter and take a reading using blood, and that would be more accurate.
Yes.
Yeah. What about as exogenous ketones? I mean, I don't think they might give you a quick burst of energy. I heard that they can also cause some stomach upset. I don't think they're necessary. I think if you are just eating a proper low carb or carnivore diet and you're producing endogenous ketones, natural ketones, you know, that you kind of want your body in that state. If you're trying to use low carb and ketosis as an approach to losing weight. I don't know if that really describes you though, because you do talk about eating fruits and working out, I think. So, you know, could you benefit from it? I mean, it might be something you do pre-workout, you know. Is it something that's going to help you lose weight? Probably not with the not as far as inducing. It can help induce ketosis, but I mean, if you're still eating fruits, that's going to still bump you out. So it's like, again, the prioritization of the human metabolism.
Mm-hmm.
Alcohol first, you know, we stop burning everything to get rid of that alcohol first.
Right.
And then carbs. You know, they always say that carbs are your preferred energy source for your body. It's not that it's preferred, it's just it wants to get that crap out of there. Okay. And well, I mean, it can be preferred, but you can train your body to prefer fat. That's why
that's not true, really. So.
Yeah. So I don't like the word preferred, you know, because then, you know, does that mean that alcohol is your body's preferred energy source? See, then that terminology doesn't make any sense. So,
and we know we don't really need carbs it's not essential, you know,
right.
But we make it anyway. So,
yeah. Chomps 100% grass-fed beef sticks are good. Yes, they are.
Yeah, I like Chomps. I agree with you, Jim.
Acetoacetate levels drop once fat adapted, and that's what those strips measure. BHB levels rise, but the strips don't measure that.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. That's the accurate technical response there. Thank you so much for that. Saying goodnight to Kelly. You can hate Dr. Pepper, but I mean, I still drink diet soda, so I won't judge.
It was actually Dr. Pepper that I was drinking when I found out I was diabetic. So have a little bit of a.
Oh yeah.
Flashbacks.
Yeah. No.
Jeff, now you got me thinking of jalapenos.
I'm sorry about that, but they were good.
All right. So that we're at the end of the comments there.
I might go out and get some, but not now.
Yeah, I didn't have dinner, so I'm gonna go downstairs and snack on something very light because I'll go to bed and then within the hour. And actually, I'm probably going to buy my tickets for $97. Let me put that up on the screen so I don't forget.
I mean, I'm not supposed to, but with the program I'm doing right now, but I think I'm going to do a full day fast and do a full day dry fast tomorrow. So just because my sugars they're not going down, so I just want to kind of jumpstart them.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Now, are you able to
Don't tell my instructor that, though. You know, it's only for the one day. So.
Yeah, are you able to? So you can bring them down with insulin, right? Or are you just trying to bring them down?
Well, we're trying to get me off of insulin, so that's the problem.
Okay.
You know, like right now, he has me taking the bolus, the long term at night, and I can still take the short term, you know, like about 5 units of the short term with my meals, but it's still not my sugars right now is at 222. So it just hasn't really moved that much between like 170 and 225. So which is bad for me because my A1C is going up and all that stuff. So it's kind of problematic for me.
Who's suggesting this?
Well, it's SBG. I'm doing a program with them, and they're working with a bunch of us to help. You know, to help us get off of insulin altogether. And it's working, but, you know, the fact that it hasn't gone higher than 225 with very little insulin, because I went from, like I said in the chats before, I used to take 40 units of long-term, and now I'm only taking 10. And the short-term I actually stopped taking the short-term, so that's probably why it's not really going down. But like I used to take about 16 of the short term, and now I'm only taking like 5. So and I was taking Victoza, but I stopped doing that altogether. So I mean, it's not going like normally if I did that, it would go up to 400. So at least it's staying consistent. I just wanted to go lower, so I get that A1C to 5.4 where I want it. Yeah.
What are you eating typically?
Burgers. The other day I had steak. I had some pork chops. With some pork rind crust on it, you know, just basic carnivore stuff. I did have some pickles.
Those aren't going to hurt you. So.
No. But you know, like if I got satiated, like butter, you know, I do like a couple packs of butter if I got hungry. I did have some pork rinds with some sour cream. I didn't have any coffee at all during the time I was at my sister's. I just started having coffee, but that shouldn't make a difference because it didn't change anything, you know?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, someone said something in the private chat. What's that?
Yeah, that was.
Oh, okay. That's David. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I answered him like about the 118.
All right. Well, let's see here. Going back to the chat. What we got here? Anything new? Nope. Doesn't look like it. All right. Well, David, you want to try and say anything before we wrap this up?
Is it still real low? Probably is, right?
No, it's a little bit low. I can hear you. It's just a little like in and out.
Okay. Well, thank you for having this evening. I'm going to probably get off myself so I can get my beauty rest.
Okay.
Good to see you all.
Yeah, you did say you got up early, so you're tired. So, all right. Well, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I like your canvas behind there, Dave, with the lion and the.
What was that?
I like your canvas behind you, Dave, with the lion and the stronger than your excuses.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good to see you all.
Good night, David. It's good to see you again.
All right.
You too, Geoff. Y'all take care.
You too.
Okay, you too. So you can stay on and hang out backstage when the show's over if you want. But I am going to say goodbye to everybody. So thanks for everyone who joined us on screen tonight. I know that includes Rick and Lewis, and we've got Tom, Dave, and Jeff here. And did I miss anybody? Oh, Kelly. Kelly was on also.
You can't forget Kelly.
Okay. All right. I want to thank all those that were brave enough to join us on screen with their devices. And they set the example for the rest of you too. Come join us again next Monday on screen. We would love that. And hanging out in the chat is super cool too. So we're glad to have you here and interact with your comments in the chat. That gives us plenty of stuff to talk about, which allows us to go on for tonight was 3 hours and 15 minutes. So we couldn't do it without you and your support. So we thank you very much for that. So good night, everybody. We'll see you next week. And of course, throughout the week over on carnivoretalk.com and our community forums. So come join us there and we'll see you soon. So have a good night, everybody. We're going to end in 3, 2, 1.